The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
You know, the birthday and anniversary celebrations keep on trucking because on this very day, back on June 23rd, 1989, the Tim Burton Batman masterpiece opened in theaters all across the world. And I was there on opening day, on second day, and all the other days that ended in day that summer, like many of us were. But also, too, I want to give a big ups to the day that our good friend, Patreon brother, Quarantine Titans member, Evil Corny, was unleashed upon this world back in 1976, like your boy. So how do we top this hat trick? I don't know. How about this episode? So welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome, all you sportos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, and dickheads. You're listening to the hottest show on the airwaves, Trick or Treat Radio. Welcome to episode 517 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast and is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein, also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau and the Lair of the Gods. It is the three of us, just the three of us. We're trios tonight. We'll be riding Dos Tres. Right, Raven Shadow? What kind of would you drink a Dos Equis for this occasion?
Oh yeah, I don't always drink. Well, I do always drink beer, but sometimes when I do, it's Dos Equis, baby. No, man, this is a Trick or Treat triumvirate, brother.
I don't always drink beer until I'm passed out, blacked out, cold. But most nights I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, do you remember to put the Uncrustable on the nightstand before you pass out, though? That's what I really want to know.
They've been hard to find, dude. People don't know this, but like the second thing you can't find after like baby formula is Uncrustables. I don't know what this trend is.
We had them at work. I started going back to the office, and they're there. So
yeah, I see them in the stores.
Maybe it's just the stores you frequent, Raven Shadow.
Well, yeah, no, I mean,
I don't order a case, man.
Get
like a Costco membership or something like that.
Oh man, I got the BJs.
The Beach? You got the Beaches?
Get the BJs. I got a Beach membership, bro.
Is that go along with your Bijan?
Yeah, dude. Fucking, you get a Bijan, you get it. Well, no, that's. Well, first of all, Johnny, thank you for that, but I don't work for you or live in Maryland, so your break room doesn't help me, brother.
You should work. You should work where I work. I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I'll come. Can I stay with you until I get set up?
No.
Why?
Fuck no. maybe 2 nights. 2 nights. That's all you get.
Yeah.
Hey.
2 nights and a twist.
2 nights and a twist.
That's good.
Evil Corny says red stripe or nothing.
Corny don't drink Red Stripe. No, I think maybe he does. He does. I think he mentioned that.
Red Stripe and Lucky Strikes, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. I was going to say something right off the top. There's something you said in the intro that I was going to vamp on, but I completely lost.
Batman 89 dropping on this very day?
No, that wasn't it. I think I remember. I think it was actually, it didn't have anything to do with what you said. It was the intro, the new, well, not the new, but the chiptunes version of the intro. I don't know where to come in on that, and I don't have the energy like that I got from the last one. The other theme kind of like hit a crescendo, and then like I knew I was coming in hot, coming in with energy, but I can't feel it on this one. So
And that's fair, Johnny. I was thinking about that too. I mean, I think this is a very good intro. It's a great song for what it was. For the special occasion, episode 50,
Yep.
represent.
Yep.
But maybe it's kind of like the Bobby Valentine when he managed the Red Sox. This is like the bridge intro.
Yeah, I think I have some. There's some fires in the iron. Is that or irons in the fire? Can you put fires in the iron, Raven Shadow? Is that a thing?
You're asking him about that one? He doesn't even remotely understand that reference.
Do you know what having irons in the fire is, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, it's having like ducks in a row, bro. You're having like
Not really.
Why? If you have an iron in the fire, you have something that's like, oh, it's getting ready, right? Because I mean, Ares, he grew up with Hephaestus, right? Like you know about all that kind of
Hephaestus?
Hephaestus, bro. He was the god of metal and heat and making shit.
Festus for the rest of us?
No, Hephaestus. Hephaestus.
Hephaestus? What? What are you saying?
No, this is the part where you're trying to marginalize my intelligence.
No, I have no idea what you're saying.
Bro, Hephaestus.
Bro,
Hephaestus.
dog, dude,
raccoon.
Raccoonby. Raccoony.
Raccoony. No, Hephaestus was the Roman god of the forge. Kind of like Forge from the X-Men.
Okay. I'm with you. I got you. All right.
Can I talk to T-Dog, please?
She's in the other room.
Yell to T-Dog, well, who's Hephaestus? And she'll be like, Raven Shadow.
She'll say, who?
You say, Michael Raven Shadow.
Uncle Festus?
Hephaestus. Uncle Hephaestus.
Oh, man.
Teenage-
Evil Coin says Vulcan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure with the Roman and the Greeks is some things, but yeah, similar dude. But I think Hephaestus was I think he was the Roman. I think he was I like the Roman.
Spell that for me. Spell it.
HEFHEFESTAS. Hephaestus.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, like Hugh Hephaestus. He had a whole house, dude. He had a grotto. He had a lava grotto, bro, where he would like forge weapons in it, dude. In a giant metal rope.
You got to calm down, bro, dude, dog. Pick one. Holy shit! You gotta
don't pick one of those. Don't use those.
You gotta calm down, man.
I'm excited.
By the way, Hephaestus, your search did not match any documents. This is Google. Nothing fucking came up on Google.
You broke Google. Are you happy?
Can we get somebody who's either Greek or Roman to chime in?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
I think I do. I think I do.
Okay. So Marion, as she typically does, saves your ass. And she typed it in and says Hephaestus was the armorer of the gods, Greek, from Wonder Woman.
Just from Wonder Woman. That's exactly what people don't know that, man. Actually, everybody knows that. That's why Marion found it, because she's smart.
Let's see how to pronounce it, all right? Let's see.
It's translator.
All right, let me see what this says.
Hephaestus.
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 There you go. Hephaestus, Raven Shadow.
No,
Hephaestus.
that's stupid. That's a robot. That's literally a robot talking right now.
Okay, let me find maybe a person. Let's see. There's a YouTube video. Let's see if it's a person or a robot. Let's see.
What's this?
We are looking at how to pronounce the name of the god of fire in Greek mythology. He is also the god of metalworking, stone masonry, forges, and the art of sculpture. How do you go about pronouncing his name in English? Hephaestus.
Hephaestus.
What? Who heard that?
Could you guys not hear it?
We could not
Barely.
hear.
It was
Barely. Okay, yeah. I have the volume turned down on this end. There you go. Hephaestus.
Hephaestus. Why don't you efface the music that your boy was right, man? Fucking I'm the fucking. I know. I'm the mythology dude right now.
Oh my God, we're in trouble.
No, but I know. I know Dionysius. He was a thing.
Dionysius.
Dionysius. I am the last one.
Now, don't be like tooting your own horn here. All we've proved is that it's from Wonder Woman.
Is she not Greek? Listen. No. See, this is the part where you're trying to like put yourselves over and make fun of your boy. But this is a real. Can we get T-Dog? I'm gonna.
I am not trying to.
You are.
The only proof that was stated was from Wonder Woman. Granted, the character is Greek, but she's a made-up character.
She really existed. Okay.
She really existed.
She's made of clay. No. Fine. Wolfie, give a private message to T-Dog and talk about Hephaestus. And she'll be like, yo, he made the fucking weapon. He's an armorer. He invented armorall.
He invented armorall.
Armorall for all the...
I think we're done with this topic now.
God.
Well, fine. I'm right. Who's the big one?
All right. So let's see. There's a few comments. Evil Corny says Vulcan is easier to say, and he says Vulcan is. He posted a little screenshot. The master of metallurgy and handicraft, Vulcan was the Roman god of fire and forge, as well as the patron of artisans and smiths. Known as the ugliest of the gods, Vulcan suffered from lameness in one leg due to an injury he sustained as a child. So just say Vulcan.
But no, there's different ones, man. There's different ones. That's exactly what I'm saying. But everybody knows that. Everyone's Vulcan Hephaestus.
Vulcan Hephaestus. We have our good friend Rachel from Zombie Girls is tuning in, and she says Raven Shadow's Mythology Hour would watch.
She's so
the Michael Mythology Minute. I don't think we could do an hour. I think a minute.
Oh no, he could drag out a minute's worth of information over an hour.
Oh, you're right about that. I have no doubts. But of actual information, it wouldn't get beyond one actual minute.
Yeah, it'd be a minute's worth of information just stretched out the way he does it.
Yeah. Very stretched.
You wish you had stretching powers, that's for sure.
Electrock. I'm elongated man.
We haven't had an elongated man reference in a while.
I love the elongated man.
Why do you say it so, like, sexually?
Passion? No, it's passion.
That's passion?
It's passion.
That's creepy.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to get...
Is that what you say to Marion? Like, Marion, I want to pause Mad God. I'm going to take you to the bedroom.
You're wrong. He wouldn't pause it. He wouldn't pause it because he'd get credit because it's playing.
I was watching it.
You would have missed all the dialogue.
Yeah, it's funny about that. There was a point, Marianne might. I'm like, could we put the fucking subtitles on? I'm not hearing anything. And she's like, there's no words. Fact.
All right, so yeah, all right, there you go. So one thing I want to bring up, actually, in 5 weeks from now, we'll have our 10-year anniversary show, and we're starting to put some plans together. But since we don't have all of the plans put together yet, this is where you guys could potentially come in. If you have ideas or thoughts of something you would like to see or hear or experience, then let us know. You have some time. I'd say within the next week, so we can start getting all the the I's dotted and the T's crossed. So if you guys have thoughts or ideas, post on social media or send us a email, voicemail to podcast@trickortreatradio.com. Raven Show, was that a hand raise?
I mean, much like Hephaestus has irons in the fire, it's just like that. I mean, it's a callback. But I'll let you go, Johnny. I'll stop talking.
It's a callback. So we have the opportunity to have you guys help influence what we do. It can be like a new guest. Maybe there's a guest you think would be really fitting for our show. whether it's another podcaster, whether it is a celebrity or, like a filmmaker or a musician or whatever. If there's someone out there you guys think that is reasonable for us to reach out to and they would be a good fit, a podcast you really dig that you think that maybe would be a good fit for a guest co-host slot, or films, like if we want to do, typically on the milestone shows we do something a little bit different. We don't always do new releases, so that's possible. Are there any former guests that you'd like to see come back, like maybe an interview that we did that we should do like a follow-up or something along those lines? Any and all recommendations are welcome. So if you guys have thoughts, let us know, and we'll we still have some time to put some stuff together. So I just wanted to get that out in the open so that you guys were aware, and hopefully we still have some time to make some of that happen. No guarantees, of course, but we want you guys to be happy with the 10-year anniversary as much as we want to be happy with it. So that's like kind of like the last milestone, right? Like, I mean,
are we done at that point? Are we done like celebrating them until we hit 20?
Yeah, I don't know that we're gonna get to 15. So like, who knows? I mean, you never know, but and then 15 doesn't really seem like that big of a deal. 10 to me seems like kind of like a decade, right? Like a fucking decade of doing this podcast is ridiculous. So I think that's something, but so I want this one to be a thing. So if you guys have thoughts, let us know. Evil Corny says, History Filibustered with Michael Ravenshadow could be a podcast, Wolfie. He's not wrong. History Filibustered.
Yeah.
Maybe, it can, one month you do Bomber Radio, the next month you do History Filibustered.
A lot of ideas, a lot of content.
Oh, and for the 10-year anniversary, maybe people want things to come back that we've done. Like maybe, you guys remember Flash Fiction?
Oh, Slash Fiction.
Slash Fiction.
Yeah.
That's I was mixing up Flash Facts and Slash Fiction. Yeah. Reading Slash Fiction, reading Flash Facts, and even I remember Ravenshadow reading erotic novels a few times on the show before, I think.
Yeah, that book somewhere. I was looking for that book. I don't know. It's somewhere.
It's probably under your mattress.
Yeah.
Under your pillow. Next to all
it's on Marion's side of the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
It's under your mattress next to all the Uncrustable wrappers.
Those aren't pillows, I'll tell you that. That means. But no, was it Aphrodisiac? Was that book we got at Rock and Shock I think it was from Kyle and Bill from OTC Industries. We got that from the spinner rack they had over there.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, it's somewhere over there.
So lots of stuff going on. So yeah, if you guys have ideas, let us know. You can send an email or a voice message. And I don't think I mentioned, but on tonight's show, we will be discussing a film 30 years in the making. We'll be discussing Phil Tippett's. I mean, whether we like it or not, it's a masterpiece. Like the fact that this fucking thing got made, it's a huge Herculean fucking task. So. We will be discussing Mad God a little bit later in the show, and then we do have some voice messages. We'll be playing those towards the end, and what we do in the beginning here is just shoot the shit. Talk a little shit, talk a little bullshit, Raven Channel, right?
Talk a little raw.
Yeah, talking all raw.
Like that.
There's a few things I wanted to bring up. First of all, I know both you guys, Aries and Raven Shadow, you guys watched the last AEW pay-per-view. Did you guys know there's another one this weekend?
There's been talks already, man.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, so I wasn't sure because it's not like one of their normally scheduled pay-per-views. It's a special one, and it's a crossover with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's the Forbidden Door. So, yeah, should be cool.
I'm super excited right now. Thomas Smythe and I are booked to connect for that, and the invitation is open to Aries, which will probably be a game time decision. until an hour before or an hour after.
Well, just make sure you order cheese pizza so he has something to eat if he does come over.
If he does come, I will order mozzarella sticks too.
Oh, wow, Aries. He's
Gonna put
really putting it all out there for you.
Yeah. Now here's the important question: is any of that beer I brought over there left?
There's one.
I was gonna say, Aries, come on.
It's fancy beer, so he wouldn't necessarily like it.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, it's good. It's good. But no, I saved one. And Marion was like, "You want?" I'm like, "Nah, Aries might come over," so I saved the one. But no, I feel that was, port in the storm. But no, there's one. I said, leave that one for Aries. It's fair, but I will get mozzarella sticks. But I'm excited. What's going on? There's also there's who is Moxley fighting? Mox is fighting the triple threat.
Nope. Mox is fighting Hiroshi Tanahashi for the interim AEW championship, heavyweight championship.
And I really want Aries to see Moxley wrestle. He wasn't on the last card, so I really want him to see.
I've seen John Moxley fight.
Okay.
He also knows that he's Dean Ambrose.
Yes. Sorry to burst your bubble.
It's context. It's fine. And funny though, last time we got together, we were all really making jokes about being concerned about Jeff Hardy being in Las Vegas.
Yeah, something happened.
Turns out we were right.
Well, I really wasn't joking. I was just knew shit was going to happen.
Well, it did happen in Florida and back in his home state, but still.
Well, that's where he got caught.
Yeah.
I mean, the fuse was lit in Vegas.
He probably drove all the way from Vegas back.
That what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's a saying. It follows you home.
Yeah.
Tell the cops that opposite. Listen, that's Vegas, bro. Clack clack. Oh shit.
Yeah. So that sucks for him.
We love Jeff. Just get better, dude.
But I don't want to focus too much on wrestling. I know, like, we don't have a lot of wrestling fans, I don't think, listening. But I do know. Actually, I love that he changes his name all the time. He's like a fucking chameleon. But now, Gene Siskel or Gene Spalding or Gene Siskel's balding head. His current nickname on our Discord is Buttplug Express. So, shout out to Buttplug Express. I know he's a big fan of Okada, so and New Japan and Adam Cole and everything. So I know that he'll appreciate it. But it's unfortunate for AEW that both Bryan Danielson and CM Punk are injured, which are basically like their two biggest draws. But I think they were able to put together a nice little card, and in Bryan Danielson, his place is going to be a surprise competitor against Zack Sabre Jr. So we don't know who that is. He said it's someone he trusts. My guess is it's going to be Claudio Cesaro is what he's going by now, because they go way back to Chikara days when I used to go to see Chikara. I used to see them both wrestle in Chikara. So.
Oh, because Cesaro hasn't been working, right? Was he let go? Was he let go from WWE?
He wasn't let go. His contract expired, and he turned down a contract extension. So he's been a free agent since he was done. So it's been I want to say 5-6 months. Actually, maybe not quite that much. I think it was maybe January, February. So yeah, it's been a good 3-4 months. He's been a free agent, and I think he's just biding his time. And I mean, AEW would be perfect for him. I really hope it's him. Other names I've heard are Johnny Gargano is rumored. I don't think he fits the bill of being one of the best technical wrestlers in the world. He's a very good wrestler, but I wouldn't call him one of the best technical wrestlers. And I've also seen Jonathan Gresham, who is the current is he? I actually drawn a blank. I think, he is still the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion. But that seems like it would be a letdown because he's already in Ring of Honor, which is now owned by Tony Khan, who owns AEW. So that's not a surprise to me, So I think anything but Claudio Cesaro and Johnny Gargano are going to be a big letdown for the fans. So,
See, here's the. I hope it is Cesaro. Here's the Attitude Era mark in me. I am excited. Is it Christian versus Jungle Boy? Are they going to do something?
no, not yet. They're just building that. It's
Okay,
probably
that's-
going to take a very like probably next pay-per-view. They'll probably have a blow off or something.
Because that was awesome and a bummer to me. The fact that
Yeah.
I love that tag team. Well, not that the faction, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, kind of a little mishmash of some weird characters that just sort of fit together. But
See, you see the after when it went off the air when he was yelling at
Yeah.
Christian
his mom.
and his, Jungle Boy's mom and sister.
Yeah.
You raised a piece of shit.
They I know you probably don't watch the weekly shows, do you?
I get a lot of
Dynamite.
clips. Yeah, I want to.
Well, so Christian cut a promo this past week, and it was I think it was actually kind of done in poor taste. He brought up Jungle Boy's dad, and he said he was like talking about his mom and sister. He's like, I told him what I thought. He's like, but it's too bad I couldn't tell your dad what I thought because he's dead. And I was like, oof. Like, I mean, I get it. Like, if they're okay with it, like, sure, that's fucking real cheap heat. But like, everybody knows his dad. Like, you should. I mean, his dad is Luke Perry. Like who everyone fucking knows who Luke Perry is, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it's his kid though. His kid's Jungle Boy in AEW, and to call out somebody so like famous that's no longer around, and plus I just think it's like kind of triggery for people who don't have who have lost their father. Like I just think that's like, I don't know, like, and people watch wrestling for an escape. I don't think they want to like necessarily be reminded of like trauma and pain, that they may be feeling.
But then again, on that kind of state, I bet. I mean, it could be very well be that Jungle Boy said, "Yeah, do this, put this over." Like,
well, I'm sure he did. He had to have approved it.
The drama. That's the. I mean, you. It's terrible things, but that's the storytelling, right? In this world, in this ring, on this stage, it's all these terrible things, and that's going to make Jungle Boy get over and just make his a session. You know.
No,
over.
I get it. I just kind of cheap. I think they could have a good story without it, but that's just my thoughts.
I mean, it's not Big Boss Man.
No, you couldn't do that anymore. Or you shouldn't do that anymore. Like that and Al Snow's dog Pepper.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man.
That's fucked up. But I am excited though that Sammy Guevara is now rolling with Jericho again. So that makes me smile.
I don't like it. There's too many people in that faction now. I think 5 was fine, but now 7, I think it's too much.
Agree. I just like Sammy and Jericho together.
Yeah.
It
makes you chuckle. All right. Well, the show looks good. Maybe we'll talk about it after if you guys do check it out. Speaking of shows, there's a couple others I wanted to bring up. So I did finish chapter 1 of Stranger Things season 4. Aries, have you watched any more?
I believe I've watched one more since we spoke. I'm up to 3.
Okay.
I'm a one a week guy. That's why I love the other way Disney Plus drops shows. But
yeah, I kind of did it. I mean, it came out on the 27th, so I guess we got through it in a little less than a month. But I was doing like maybe one every like 3 or 4, like probably every 4 or 5 nights. We did one, and then like. Yeah, I don't think we didn't watch more than one episode in an evening because, I mean, we're both like pretty busy, and to sit down for 3 hours to watch TV in a row is really difficult.
Oh yeah, and that's part of the problem with me. I got to watch it with the missus.
Yep.
That's one of our shows together, so we both got to get together to watch it.
Yeah, all I'll say then is it gets really good. I think this is, I mean, it's the most recent one that I've seen, so it's fresh, but for me, I think this might be my favorite season.
See, I did hear it was on par with the first season. Like it was like it could go either way with certain people.
Yeah, I won't say anything, but as it picks up, like you get more information, and it ends up being like a really cool story where it goes. That's all I'll say about it. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. Really digging it. And also, Obi-Wan Kenobi just ended yesterday. So the series is over unless they announce a season 2, which is probably likely with how well it did. So, but for as of now, it's the series is done because they were originally introduced as a limited series, and so six episodes are out and it's over. Have you seen it, Aries?
I did finish it up.
Cool.
I did really enjoy it. I did really love the lightsaber duel in the last one. I'm just not 100% on board as this being part of canon. There's just issues I have with it fitting in and creating little problems, but the show itself was outstanding.
That's interesting. Well, eventually we can probably talk about it because I'm curious. I've seen people say that, and like I've actually had conversations with people at work and like other people, and like a lot of times I think people forget, and I'm not saying that this is the case with you, but a lot of times people forget like what they say in A New Hope, and they have their own interpretation of what happened. So therefore, when they watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, they're like, no, that's not, that couldn't happen because it ruins dialogue from A New Hope. But I personally think if anything, it enhances it. I think it adds context to everything. And I don't think anything at all was ruined or lessened or changed or altered or in any way. I think if anything, it just adds to it. So that's all I'll say because I assume Raven Shadow hasn't finished it yet.
No, that's a fair interpretation because it's been a while since I've really sat down and watched A New Hope, and I do want to revisit it to see if I'm having false memories of A New Hope, because people do that. They just kind of romanticize different things, and I am guilty of this, like hating different interpretations of the beloved things, and not reboots, prequels tend to bother me because of that reason. So I go into them jaded. So to win me over, it takes a lot.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm gonna try. No spoilers at all. Just trying to think of ways to frame some of this. So I think the way I'll say it is I think there are nuances. Raven Chow, you can listen, or unless you need to go somewhere.
No, I don't want to. I'm on episode 4.
I'm not going to spoil anything at all.
There's no. We're avoiding spoilers.
Believe me, yeah. If anything, it's going to help. I think there are nuances in the dialogue of the show that if you key in on the nuances, that it could help with the comprehension of putting everything together. And if you miss a word or two, I feel like, and maybe this is a failing of how they put it together, but I think if you miss a couple words, it is possible that it removes some of the context. So, that's all I'll say. It's not really. It's just pay attention. That's really all I'm saying. Because I think there is some dialogue that is important to certain things that happen.
Yeah. No. Well, I just want to say, I'm not saying the entire show like ruins everything for me. There are things that definitely enhance what would follow.
Right.
With characters and everything else. And I did love that aspect of it, but there were other things I thought took away.
Yep. So, what were you gonna say, Ram Shadow?
Just, not that we haven't had this conversation several times on our almost 10-year run, anniversary coming in July. But like, once again, gang, not saying just us, but in general, there was no fucking plan, guys. Cherry pick what you like. Take what you like and ignore the rest.
Wait, whoa. Are you saying that George Lucas didn't plan for this show way back in 1975 when he started working on Star Wars?
No, it's crazy. I know it was. I know it's everyone's like, no, dude, he hired fucking the cat that played Wedgie and Tilly's because he knows
Yeah.
somewhere in the 90s his nephew.
His nephew is going to play Obi-Wan.
He's not like Bill Belichick from like a mastermind that could forego mating rituals in the years to go. No, listen, man, it was a happy accident based on Kurosawa, bro, and wizards and light swords and shit like that. It was awesome. We loved it. Let some shit go. Enjoy the shit you like. Ignore the shit you don't. Just be happy. That's my quick, once again, Luke and Leia, brother and sister, made out so many times.
No,
Okay.
they never made out.
Now, I just
Come
want
on.
to point out. No, wait 1 second. I just want to point out to you that you're bringing up something that directly contradicts what you opened your argument with.
Thank you.
He thanks you for putting that
Do
out.
you understand what I'm saying to you?
Not yet, but you'll tell
Not
me.
yet.
What did I contradict myself with?
Well, you just said he wasn't planning it. So
Right.
having them start a romantic relationship and then turn it into a sibling thing because it wasn't a plan. So you understand why it's not really that big of an issue because
No, that's exactly.
he took a right turn.
No, he took a wrong turn, like your friends in that movie. But no, that's the point was it wasn't all planned. The reason why I think he made, and once again, if you read the book Skywalking, the life and films of George Lucas, I read about it in a book. The same reason he killed off Ben Kenobi in episode 4, spoiler alert, was what's Ben gonna do but give advice on Yavin, right? He's a much more powerful character, being a mysterious ghost Jedi. That makes sense, and it pushes Luke on the hero's journey. I feel that he made Luke and Leia brother and sister was he wanted to close the gap of the love triangle behind Han and Luke and Leia. Just keep it simple and keep it linear. That's why. So by him saying that, he didn't have a plan that Luke and Leia were brother and sister because it's all predicated that Luke left Tatooine because that girl was beautiful. Right? We've had that conversation ad nauseum. So I'm taking the piss a little bit by saying it's not planned, but I'm really being from my heart in any Star Wars fan, any era, any generation. Cherry pick what you like, ignore the shit you don't, because it's enough for all of us. And that's, I think, is a beautiful statement.
You keep on saying that, but you keep on going back to like you seem to be like honing in on the brother sister aspect of it, like he planned on having the incestuous relationship that they started off with.
No, I've implied that, but that's funny if you did. That'd be funny.
But that's what you're implying.
Oh, no.
But then you go, he didn't plan it, but he planned this. That is like
I'm taking
that's what you kind of said in a roundabout way.
No, it's funny if he was like Steven. Listen, I have an idea. The blonde one, the blonde hair, blue-eyed one, is gonna make out. That's funny to me, but it's a joke. But no, I don't think that was the intention at all. I think it was to wrap up the franchise in a bow, quick and easy storytelling. That's it. Wrap it up.
And
that is storytelling trope.
And you know what? Like, whenever a story is written and then there are sequels that come after it or even prequels, like they don't fucking know what they're gonna do. They may have an outline,
right.
But it's insane to think that someone had planned the whole fucking thing out from jump.
100%.
And I'm not saying that for just for you, Raven Shadow. I'm just saying like people are like, well, like they're just fucking retconning this or they're adding this in. Yeah, that's how storytelling works.
But like I'm dying.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you die.
No, I have other people in line. But no. But when I say that, I'm taking the piss.
You're taking a piss right now.
You're
not even in the shower.
Yeah, dude. New sponsor. But no. Right. There's no way. But like, once again, you're gonna add stuff. You're gonna add things, and if it works, it works. And you forget the shit that doesn't really work because it's not that important. It's okay. It's fun. From what I saw,
you can't forget that.
You can avoid. I'm not gonna die on certain hills or like I don't.
All right. Well, let's hold on to this Star Wars discussion. What did he ignore or forget?
Whom?
Lucas.
Lucas. Yeah.
I wasn't mentioning anything specific at that moment in time.
Well, you were just talking generally. Well, generally,
He neglected Hephaestus.
The Imperial
I mean,
of Stormtrooper helmets.
there's got to be some basis to that. You can't make a general statement without a little basis.
And thank you for the setup, Aries. I'm gonna tell you why you're right. No, anything that's
He's such a fucking politician.
everything,
Just run for office. Get it over with.
True. Listen, you could do fucking worse.
Thank you for that question.
We have.
Aries. Yeah.
We
yeah.
have
Well, we
done
have.
worse.
Yeah.
You could do fucking worse. Like a Raven Shadow 20, whatever the fuck. Hey,
Yeah, you could
worse.
do worse.
Michael Ravenshadow, 20 whatever the fuck. You could do worse.
yeah. Like,
Oh God, I need that bumper sticker.
hey.
All right, but continue.
All right. But no, I'm telling you, any kind of long term, even like if you want to go in, and as fanboys and fan people, fan persons do as well, you know, Marvel, Kevin Feige had a large scoping plan for how fucking many movies. Right, there's an outline, there's an idea. And there are folks who'll be like, nope, something in Ant-Man 2 contradicted something that was said in Thor the Dark World. And it's like, listen, just fucking take it where you're going to fucking get it. You know what I mean? Like the big picture here. You know, even in comics, we've all read comics. There's going to be stories that might quasi-contradict something or from a character's point of view. Once again, just
From a certain point of view?
a certain point of view, which once again, seriously, brother and sister are really important when you're dating someone. But with that said, you can't just sometimes shit you're gonna enjoy and you want to maybe feed the stuff that works. Oh, this idea is better. We should go this route. Plenty of movies that we've saw and discussed on this show where the original idea was last week when the Great Rachel from the Zombie Girl podcast was on. Respect. Talking about the movie Somewhere Before Everything and Everything Afterwards, or whatever the fuck it was called. But
What?
It was awesome.
Oh my
The
god.
movie title is not that difficult. Try again.
It was difficult. I was thinking about it.
Stop for a second. Pause.
Yep.
Think. What was it?
What kind of a bagel was it, Raven Shadow?
And everything bagel
Yep. And where did it take place?
everywhere.
And how many oh shit, I fucked up the last one.
See, it's not easy, is it?
No, it is easy. When did she access all her multiverse characters at the end?
Oh, all at once, dude.
There you go.
Everything bagel all at once.
Also, someone, shit, who was it? I think it might have been EF, posted in the Discord, like a tweet. And so we talked a little bit last week about the yin yang symbol and how it's balanced. There is actually iconography in the movie that depicted that without realizing it. It was the donut, the black donut, and then if you take the googly eye, it fits perfectly in, like, into the middle of the donut hole, right? So it's almost like it completes, almost. I mean, I know it's not exactly yin yang, but the googly eye sort of like would go into the center of the donut and make a hole.
That's a stretch, I think.
I don't know.
Well, because there's no.
Those are the two
If you put
things that symbolized each sort of like train of
Oh
thought.
yeah, no. I do think that, but if you put the googly eye in the center, you still end up with black on the entire outside, like white is only in the middle.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess it's not exactly yin yang. I shouldn't say that, but the googly eye, the black of the googly eye, fits into the center of the bagel, creating a hole. So if you take, like, that's sort of what I mean, is it creates a hole, not sort of a yin yang. It's like creating a whole picture,
Okay.
So, all right. I don't know if we were going somewhere with that, but
I don't know. It was a Raven Shadow tangent.
What?
what?
I'm sorry, a Raven Shadow filibuster.
A history
What-
filibuster.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just enjoy it. Well, I think I'm speaking for myself. Just enjoy
Wow,
what you
that's
like.
a first.
Just enjoy what you like. Disney Plus, you click on what you like, you avoid what you don't. Everybody wins.
Well, that's the case with every streaming service. Click on what you like, avoid what you don't.
Yeah. Don't get upset.
Who's
Okay.
upset?
Yeah, who's upset?
Fanboys are always upset. So there was no controversy over the Ben Kenobi show. Nobody got upset over that.
I didn't.
I mean, I'm
No,
sure
that's-
some people did, but universally, it seemed like it is viewed as the best episode of the finale is viewed as the best episode of the entire series.
No, I'm not saying real people got upset. I'm saying, other people.
Are you saying I'm not a fanboy?
No, you're fairly function. You are a real, you're nice.
What?
You get by.
With a little,
Bye?
with a little help from his friends, maybe.
Yeah. No, you're a real person, Harry. You're smart.
It means I can't be a fanboy?
You're a fanboy, but you can calm things down a little bit. You can let some things go. You're okay. Well, fine, then you're not. Then I'm trying to put you over.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying here. Fanboys are people.
True. Just enjoy what you like. It's okay.
What'd you just call me?
I said enjoy what you like. It's okay.
Oh, I thought you called me Joey Light. Like, what does that even mean?
Joey Light.
Joey
I
like.
said, listen, Joey Light.
Yeah.
I
Don't
was
be
like,
like,
whoa,
like,
like
whoa.
Joey bag of
Joey
everything.
Lawrence. Yeah.
Joey bag of everything bagels.
Yeah.
All right, let's continue on because we have a movie to talk about. And
Yeah.
Can I just share a little side note here?
yeah, of course.
I've been holding on to this little tidbit for a couple of weeks now.
Uh-oh.
And it pops into my head every time Stranger Things come up.
Okay.
For some reason, a couple of people I work with have decided I look and act like Hopper from Stranger Things if I just had a mustache. The actor's name is escaping me right now for some reason.
David Harbour.
David, yeah. So I was like, okay, you really want your minds blown? Did you see Black Widow? And they went, no. So I pulled up a photo of him in Black Widow, and now they're convinced I am him and just living a double life.
Yeah. So you're like a big movie star, like TV actor, and you work as a ranger and and have a podcast.
Just like to work in the woods as a side little project. Cut some trees, mow some grass. Yeah, just keep it real.
Wow. Evil Corny says, does Raven Shadow think Ares needs to be ashamed for being a nerd?
Apparently.
Dude, you guys like. I don't know
Dude, dog, bro, man.
I don't know what you're listening to, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
We're trying to
dude.
listen to you. It's
Dude.
difficult, but
You're
we're
listening
trying.
wrong. No, you're listening wrong. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, dog.
What are you saying?
Yeah, what are you saying, dog, man?
Yeah, it's fun. Say it. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm not saying that.
Come on, home slice, lay it on.
Home slice. Evil Corny says Ares is Red Guardian. I still haven't seen the Black Widow movie, so I don't know what he looks like in that. Let me see.
Oh, this right here.
Okay. All right, I'm looking it up.
It's like they decided to make me a cosplay character. It was just like, oh, you want to go to Comic-Con? Here you go. You know.
Oh, he does have the big beard. I see. Okay.
Oh yeah.
He's got more hair though, Ares.
Oh, fuck off. I can grow it in a little bit like him.
Actually, if you wore the Red Guardian mask
With
though,
the mask. Oh yeah. No,
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. That must have been
so
funny.
anyone listening, anyone listening, if you want to donate a Red Guardian costume to me, I will accept that and I will wear it for an entire episode. Just saying. Maybe for the 50th, about 500. What are we doing? Million?
10-year anniversary.
10-year anniversary. There you go.
All right. Well, Aries got that off his chest. Thankfully.
Yeah. I just thought it was a little cute little tidbit. I don't know.
It is cute.
Cute, adorable, like me. I'm adorable.
All right. So let's wind things down. If you guys want to help support the show, there's a few ways you can do so. Numero uno would be the Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And every month we put out a Patreon exclusive episode. And last month we did our Pride Spotlight and talked about some of our favorite characters, highlighted and spotlighted some characters that are LGBTQ. And it was a good conversation. And Rachel from Zombie Girls did the best promo for it, and she said she really enjoyed it. So there you go. If she liked it, you should check it out. And we have a bunch of other stuff. Raven Shadow apparently strong-armed himself into doing a blackout tape soon.
It's true. So fair to say, I was talking with a friend of ours online the other day, and this July, we're talking about doing maybe a special Friday night blackout tapes. I was talking to our boy Carlitos, and
You know what? I don't mean to interrupt or to put pressure on things here, but unless there's a more appropriate time to do it, I wonder if we can do like a 10-year anniversary weekend.
Ooh, that's sexy.
And we do the show on Thursday, and maybe a blackout tapes and like something else on Friday, like whether we do that thing I was talking about, if we can get that to happen.
Oh, that's sexy. Kind of like a WrestleMania weekend, but like anniversary weekend. I like that. I'm getting a little roused.
Boy, see, you did the fucking voice again.
Well, now you compelled me. The power of Wolfie compels me. Yeah.
So we'll talk about that though. We'll talk about that dog.
Sexy, brah.
So we'll figure that out. But hey, maybe we'll do a 10-year anniversary weekend. I mean, I don't know if everyone's going to be available for the whole fucking weekend, but I want to make sure people can attend stuff like that. But it would be Patreon only for blackout tapes and for the other stuff. The 10-year anniversary show, the weekly show, that's free to everybody. But the other events, there'll be a cover charge at the door, and you just got to pay Patreon or bouncer Patreon. So it's as little as $2 a month. That's nothing. You can't even buy fucking coffee for $2 anymore. Well, unless you go to Cumberland Farms, right?
Oh, yeah.
Was that what you were going to say, Aries?
Yep.
It's like Aries and Cody from last week. Yeah, a couple of vibes, man. Don't come be shame.
I ain't come be shaming anyone.
He just doesn't have the Cumbies.
Yeah, we don't have it down here.
You got the Wawa.
Yep.
Does Wawa stretch all the way down there?
Yeah, we have Wawa. We have Sheets.
Wait.
We have, what is it? Royal Farms is like the big one down here. And apparently they're known for their fried chicken, but I wouldn't know.
Wait, so the gas station convenience store has really good chicken?
Supposedly. I mean, I obviously have never tried it, but that's what they're supposedly known for, is their fried chicken. It's more like a fast food kind of thing in a gas station.
Oh, like we have a little like Dunkin's up in here in gas stations. That's a big thing we have in New England.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's kind of like that.
But except for they're owned and controlled by the gas station.
Right. The gas station is Royal Farms, and then they also have like convenience store, and they make their own chicken apparently. So
Royal Farm decrees we have the best chicken in the land.
Royal Farms remembers. Marion just sent a link for a costume. There's a Red Guardian costume.
See?
for $50. Ayers,
No.
you gotta do that.
I
for
got to do that under
Halloween.
50. Oh, so under 50. Yeah. All right.
see. Let's see. The extra large is
Hey.
it's a few dollars more. Wow.
We're talking Red Guardian. I think I'm a medium when it comes to the Red Guardian version because he's already a big guy to begin with.
The standard and extra large. Yeah, I think standard is made for fucking, puny dudes though. They show a puny dude, yeah,
Wearing it.
wearing it with no beard. He's got like a 5 o'clock shadow. Come on, they should ask you to do that.
Could have been a model. There you go.
It could have been, but I will say I do like the Wawa. I haven't been to one in a while. Just I used to go when I was traveling a lot, like driving down here for like wrestling shows or just traveling in general whenever I was in like the sort of like New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland area, and would go to Wawa, and they have like it's like a Cumberland Farms, but like way classier. Like meaning they have like for like fountain soda, they literally have like a huge thing where you can get like 30 different types. It's like a really like big impressive thing that they have, and they have more like like food selection as well. And they're typically most of the ones I've been to are like typically pretty clean and well kept. But I don't know. Some people swear by Sheets. Some people swear by Royal Farms. So I don't know.
See, I'm not familiar with either of those. I know Wawa, and I definitely will visit a Wawa or two when I go down to Jersey, Philadelphia to see my kid.
Yeah, that's Wawa is definitely a good visit if you're on the road. But we're talking about Patreon, yeah. So, anyways,
sorry, sidetrack.
That's cool. So that's the best way to support. But yeah, we got some stuff. Like maybe we'll see if we can get some cool stuff going for the 10-year anniversary weekend, and maybe we will do our own sort of WrestleMania weekend style thing. I need to take some time off, so maybe I'll take that week off prior or the week after, so I can prepare for some
recovery.
Shit. Yeah, recovery from all this water I'm gonna drink. To go to the bathroom a million times. All right. So check out the Patreon, patreon.com/trickortreatradio. And as mentioned, we're going to try to plan some stuff for this month, or for July, I should say. So get in on the Patreon ASAP so that you can join in for any and all events that occur. And we'll probably I think most of them will keep open for most people. So if you're in on the $2 tier, but we may do something special for those in the $5 and higher tier. So I'll keep you guys up to date on what we do. In addition, there's a couple other ways you can support. You can go to trickortreatradio.com. You can scroll down, you look for the Amazon logo. What you're going to do is you're going to click on it. It's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link, and then everything you purchase in that next session is going to get attributed to us. It's like we referred you. It's like we told you how cool Amazon is. And just for doing that, they're going to give us a little cut. And Raven Shadow, that little cut, it doesn't cost them any extra.
But it's another way to help keep the lights on.
That's right. Keep the lights on. So, yeah, so we get a little cut just for sending you there. So, really, I mean, there's no reason not to use it. I mean, it's a little cut, like maybe like sometimes 1.5%, sometimes 2%, sometimes 3%. I think sometimes it goes up to 5% on some stuff, but every little bit helps. And if you're spending, 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s, hundreds, thousands of dollars on Amazon a month, it adds up. And once again, we get a little bit, and it doesn't cost you extra. So I would give that a look, and then bookmark our link if you want to, because then that way you just got to click on the link every single time you use Amazon, and you don't have to go to Trick or Treat Radio first. The other way you can support, actually, someone had bought the greatest hits this week, and I I think it's someone who's actually bought them before, but I think he said he has a new phone, and he just wanted to get them on the new phone the easiest way he could. And so our old buddy Nicholas bought the Greatest Hits Trick or Treat Radio's volumes 1 through 3. So they're there for $3 a pop, and you get about 90 or so minutes per volume. And it gives you a little sampling of Trick or Treat Radio over the years. We're coming up on 10 years. There's no way we expect everybody to go back and listen to every single episode. At this point, I'm almost scared to look how many hours we have. I will take a look while I'm talking here, because it's going to be ridiculous. I think last time I checked, we had like a year's worth of content or something like that. But
is that if you like played from like the beginning?
Yes.
To where we are now, like literally a year would go by.
It was something like that. Maybe it wasn't a year. That seems excessive. Maybe it was like a month or something. Let me see. I'll actually do the math. I have it open right here.
We should do something with prisons then. Maybe we could like tie it in. We could be like, that's how you measure your time.
Did you say prisons?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do something with prisons. We'll send you to one.
No. I wouldn't do well there.
All right, here we go. Okay, so it wasn't a year. That was a bit excessive. I remembered incorrectly. But there we have 582 episodes. That, once again, that includes all the Patreon. That includes the Halloween shows. That includes the year-end specials. That includes the Star Wars specials that we did. And the Greatest Hits are also included in there. And with all that stuff combined, there's 582 episodes. And it is 1,725 hours, 11 minutes, and 32 seconds. And that works out to be 71.87 days. So 71.8 days. So basically 72 days if you listen 24 hours straight.
A lot of days.
Let me see if that
fairly,
was like... Good.
Well, I'm fairly certain someone would go insane if they listened to us 24 hours a day.
So let's see. I'm actually curious how many, like if you did like 40 hours a week. So if you listen to this at your job, you have a full-time job, and you listen to us for every single minute of your job, so 40 hours a week, that gives you 43 weeks of content. That's almost a year. Once we get to a year, maybe we'll call it quits.
Well, I think if you count vacation time, that's a year.
Oh, true. Yeah. I guess if you did count vacation time, maybe you're looking at a year. Yeah.
Yeah. Vacation, sick time.
Depends how much
personal days thrown in.
Time. Yeah. I have like 5 weeks to use, and we're already like halfway through the year. I haven't used any. The only days I used were my like rollover from last year. There you go. So a lot of fucking content. Like, we don't expect you to go back and listen to every single episode. So what you can do is you can get the Greatest Hits. It's a little sampler. It's got the highlights, the lowlights, the midlights, everything in between. It's got the songs, it's got the arguments, the interviews, the funny quotes, like MZ talking about, standing outside a women's prison. That's the one that Nick quoted on the group, I think. But yeah, I haven't actually listened to those in a long time. I forget what's on them. I'm almost scared to go look.
Yeah, we won't tell you which one of those that quote is on. You got to buy them all to find that quote.
Well, I don't even know. So yeah. Oh man. Let me see. Actually, I'm not going to look to see what's what, but I want to see. I think I have them like separated. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I started a volume 4. I started a volume 4.
You did.
I even have an intro for it. What the fuck? Let me just play this real quick. I don't know what this is. Yeah. I think I recorded an intro for it.
Welcome to...
Oh, that's one of our old hosts. Okay, well, I'll listen to that elsewhere. I don't know what that is, but apparently there's stuff recorded for it. Yeah. It's got cool principles on it though, on the part 4 that we haven't put out yet. So there you go. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll put out part 4. But all right. So greatest hits, give those a look, and that's another way you can help support. Any and all helps, so we appreciate you guys doing whatever you want. All right. So we're gonna take a quick break in just a moment here, but before we do that, we're gonna check in with Michael Ravenshadow, and I want to find out, Michael Ravenshadow, when you sit down to watch Mad God, I'm just dying to know, what do you do to prepare for this fucking movie? 30 years in the making. What do you do?
Oh, shit. Mary and I went to a wedding this past Saturday.
That's what you did to prepare?
Yeah.
Wow.
We got invited. Yeah, it was an invitation. You had to go. But it was only because I worked.
Ravenshadow, do you know how invitations work?
Not really.
You don't have to go if you don't want to.
Oh.
But then if you're, like MZ, you don't get an invitation to a wedding, then you can't go.
Yeah, that's the difference between MZ and I do get the invitations. It's weird. But no, ties it in. It was friend of the show, friend Mina, had her wedding this weekend, and Mary and I went to the reception.
Nice.
We weren't able to go to the ceremony because I had to do the work job, but we went out to the reception, and it was a little frustrating. I got out at 4 p.m. And then got home, took Ollie out, put my suit on, and had to drive to Barrie, which we're very lucky in New England, living in New England, because people read books, and overall it's better with especially in certain political climates.
All right, hurry it up. Ollie wants to go out. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, long story endless. Barrie's far, but we saw some friends of the show. We saw Tom C. was there.
Nice.
It was very exciting. Former guest Liz was there. So it was a pretty good time. We got some Pez and Wonder Woman, Hulk and Wonder Woman Pez, rather.
Not
souvenirs.
Hephaestus?
Not Hephaestus. No, it was that'd have been cool. That would have been cool. But yeah, so after that, had some free drink tickets. Better believe we came back strapped on.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music. Pants. Quoting video games that don't have dialogues. Shabibers. Tasty news.
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
Butt breathers. Uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a thermoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Redoctopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we? We sure do.
So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week, we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Redoctopus is part of the Inebriard Podcast Network, with new episodes out every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or straight from the tab, redoctopus.buzzsprout.com.
Thank you guys for having me on. It's a blast. You guys are awesome.
Thank you so much.
And, Trick or Treat Radio, man. That's where it's at. That's the new Fangoria Radio is Trick or Treat Radio.
No. Don't say that.
That's like, you really put us under.
It's like swearing in church. I don't know.
You just jinxed us.
Yeah. you put a lot on our shoulders just now.
Well, we can strive for greatness.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah,
you really are. You got a great show.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
We have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
This is turning out to be a great night after all.
All right, we have returned on Trick or Treat Radio. And it is time to talk about a movie. And as mentioned previously, the movie is Mad God. And this film got a festival release in 2021, but it got a wide release on Shudder on last week on my birthday on the 15th of June, and the movie is 83 minutes. It is written and directed by Phil Tippett, and it mostly features stop motion with puppets and props and things like that, but it does have a few actors featured. Alex Cox, Nikita Roman, Satish Radakunda, Harper Taylor, Bryn Taylor, and Hans Bricky. And the synopsis for this one: a corroded diving bell descends amidst a ruined city, and the assassin emerges from it to explore a labyrinth of bizarre landscapes inhabited by freakish denizens. Sure. That's I mean, it's going to be difficult to synopsize this film, I will say that, but that works. Now, talk a little bit about Phil Tippett. Most people have, if you haven't heard of the man, you've seen his work. There's no doubt in my mind about that. He is a visual effects maestro. I mean, he has done some of the most iconic stop motion animations that we've seen in cinema history. He did, specifically, I know he did the AT-AT Walker scene in Empire Strikes Back with the AT-ATs and the snow speeders. And he also did the Tauntauns. So he did the stop animation for the Tauntauns moving around. He also, in addition, he worked on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Howard the Duck, The Golden Child, House 2, RoboCop, Willow, RoboCop 2, RoboCop 3, Jurassic Park, Tremors 2, Starship Troopers, so on and so forth. He actually also worked on, some people might be surprised. I was actually surprised. It looks like he worked on the Twilight films as well as a visual effects supervisor. But he has also done a Mastodon video. Asleep in the Deep was the name of the song he did a video for. And he is, I mean, I don't think it's out of place to say that he's one of the foremost stop motion animators in the world, and probably one of the most well known. Maybe Henry Selick is another. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Henry Selick did the stop motion for Tim Burton or with Tim Burton. But Tim Burton has done some as well. But this guy is the master. And it is a film technique we haven't seen utilized very much in the last 20 odd years because CGI has taken the place of a lot of stop motion. So it is definitely, in a sense, a dying art, but it has its place, and even still, I think it can look fucking amazing. We'll obviously get more into it as we discuss the movie, but I guess before we jump into the movie, what do you guys think about stop motion? And in terms of obviously I'm sure we all think of it fondly, from when we were kids, but kind of take that and compare it to how you feel now about it with the technology that filmmakers have available to them.
I mean, would the Harryhausen stuff be an accurate representation of old school stuff?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So I mean, I think we grew up with what our parents would have watched, like, Seven Voyages of Sinbad, that kind of stuff. And probably even, I mean, what really comes to mind for our generation probably is the original Clash of the Titans.
Yep.
Had a huge chunk of that. And that was how it was done back in the day. And if anything, whatever we discuss, this movie is a triumph for what is done in stop motion.
Oh, yeah.
No ifs, ands, buts about that.
Yeah. How about yours? Thoughts about, stop motion, whether it's nostalgia or the way you felt about it back in the day versus now and, with the new technology that's available to filmmakers?
I mean, as technology changes, obviously old things are going to kind of go by the wayside, and I do feel stop motion is a dying art. I do appreciate it when it does show up. I mean, one of my all-time favorite movies is a stop motion animation, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yep.
And I will judge every other stop motion based on that because I feel that is near perfect stop motion animation. So I mean, I do have a love for it. Either going back to the old favorites, as Raven Shadow said, or even some of the newer stuff, and you do find less and less of it. And I do appreciate seeing it and the time it takes, and the you have to have a love for it to do it. And I do appreciate that the creators put their heart and souls into whatever they're making with the stop motion.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, this film, it's 30 years in the making. Now, I don't know if a documentary exists out there about this. I didn't, unfortunately, have time to seek it out, even if it does exist. But I really feel that the story behind this might be almost as interesting as the movie itself, because I believe if I'm not mistaken, I believe he started working on this in 1988. And this is his magnus opus. This is his passion project. When he wasn't working for someone else, he was working on this, and just to work on something for 30 years is insane. Like, I don't know that I have the patience for that. As I say, as we're coming up on 10 years for the show, 10 years seems like a fucking long ass time. But, the thing is about this, it's relatively speaking, it's easy because, we just show up, we talk about a movie, we hang out. Granted, there's more to it than that. There's a little bit more that goes on behind the scenes, but ultimately, that's how it is conveyed to the listening audience. Is we show up, we turn on the mics, we record, we stream live, and that's the finished product at the end of the session. But this dude for 30 years just painstakingly bent over tables probably and moved his figures, his puppets, I'm not quite sure what the correct term would be, and just moved them slightly, took a snapshot, did it again over and over and over.
It's fun. I mean, I'm not even going to even come fucking close to comparing anything about any of what we've talked about. Or I'm not going to compare what I'm about to say to anybody we've not talked about. But I did spend, I was a freshman or junior in high school, and I was able to be in a senior level high school class for art. And one of the things we had done was claymation. Mm-hmm. And I had partnered with someone, a friend of ours that Aries and I have, a friend of ours who's noted for drinking motor oil and fighting trees. So you might know that person, or a black biker jet.
Did he have the nickname? Oh my God, Parallax?
No, it wasn't Parallax.
Oh, okay.
No, it was his name was Aaron, and he was awesome.
You sure it wasn't? Sure it wasn't AA Ron?
It was a Ron G. But we made and I was part of this class. But eventually we got some notice and was actually on a local like cable access show that showed all our claymation videos that we had done. Once again, not saying it's even on the same fucking level or the same fucking sport, but it was for what we did. Yeah, I can, Jesus Christ, making that shit, let alone on this scale. So once again, I'm saying that I dabbled in it in a school level, not a fucking this level at all. But it's awesome. It's a fun realm to play in, is what I would say.
Yeah, and to be fair, like stop motion has been around for a very long time, from the dawn of filmmaking, and maybe even before films. Like people, I think that there's some information out there that, like, so before the advent of chronophotography in 1878, a small number of picture sequences were photographed with subject in separate poses. These can now be regarded as a form of stop motion or pixelation, but very few results were meant to be animated. So until celluloid film base was established in 1888. So, I mean, this goes way back. It's not a new technique. So I want to just make clear, Phil Tippett is someone who really popularized it in modern cinema, in what we would know in the last 40 some odd years, but yes, like Harryhausen was a master of his craft doing it, and there's been endless artists that have worked on this medium over the years. But it is, in a way, I don't necessarily mean it's dying. It's just, like, with how much time you could save by using maybe 3D animation or just doing it in other methods, this is a very time-consuming method. And typically it was done back in the day because that was the way you did it. That's the way you had to do it. But now there are other ways of doing it. But now it's all about the art and the craft. If somebody wants to do stop motion, it's about the craft of doing it the old way,
100%. Was there this thing about a rocket hitting a moon in the face in a black and white thing? You know what I'm talking about? It was.
Of course, everyone knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was that old school one that was fucking, back when, many years ago. But right, it's an art form that the craft is amazing, but there are shortcuts that you could do around it. You don't need to do that. Even down to miniatures too. We talked about Star Wars before. Like, how many miniatures are really done nowadays when you could be something CGI or shit like that, or a green screen?
Oh, he's running amok.
He's being a dick tonight, dude.
He's not being a dick. He just wants something. That's how he communicates.
Yeah, well, what he wants, he can't have.
Oh. All right. From an earlier conversation, not on the air. Oh shit. So yeah, the fact that this film exists in this day and age is sort of like a marvel in itself, because it is as mentioned. I mean, it wouldn't take everyone 30 years to make a movie, but like I said, this is something that he's been working on, for a very long time, in between projects and all that stuff. So, all right, so let's dive into the movie a little bit now that we've talked a little bit about the craft behind it and a little bit about the man behind it. And so right off the bat, we get a quote from Leviticus 26:27, I believe, if I remember correctly. And here's just an excerpt from it. It says, "And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat." Pretty fucking dark shit. There is a lot of biblical references going on, and this is going to be I think it's going to be a tough film to digest and to break down, because it is very surrealistic style, but there is a narrative that works through it. It's just, it's not the most clear, easy to follow narrative, I guess I'll say. A lot of crazy shit happens. I think there's a lot of really amazing imagery. This is a fucking beautiful film. Absolutely beautiful. And the fact that this is all shot in front of a camera, as far as I'm aware, I don't know if there's any visual effects added, but the idea of stop motion is to do everything in front of the camera. And some of the colors, some of the just the craft that went into making these puppets and these characters is just insane. There's some scenes at the end that are so gorgeous with the colors, and this is truly it's truly a work of art. It's a masterpiece. Yeah, Raven Shadow?
It's a masterpiece of grotesque, dark poetry.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fair. I think, I was watching Sumerian, and there is some blending of some live action in there. I think it's limited, but there is a blending of some live action.
With the live action, it looked, unless they changed the frame rate, it looked like they filmed that stop motion as well.
And there's parts too where I'm like, that's not fucking live action. But I could kind of see where it could be, and they played around with it. So here's the thing for me. There's things this reminded me of. But maybe where I want to go first is, I think there's a lot of the synopsis of this is it's like a live action Tool video, or not live action, but a film based on like a Tool video, a little bit of heavy metal thrown in. With Heavy Metal, the magazine, and the animated film. And part of me could see this as being, and Aries might remember, us going to the old Spike and Mike Twisted Animation Festivals and Coolidge Corner Theater in Boston years ago, like that avant-garde level of animation, and maybe even like Liquid Television back in the day, pre-internet stuff that was weird, or stuff that you would hear about. You know what I mean? There was things that were like, oh, this is crazy animation, right? Do you guys know what I'm kind of referring to?
I understand.
Yeah.
But I think for me, this was almost like if it was like a wrestling, we talked about wrestling earlier, if it was a Raw that was all high spots, all if the Lucha Libre match that was all flips and hips and kicks without the drama, or if the entire Raw was a table ladders and chair match, or if it was a whole concert of a Cliff Burton bass solo. It just seemed like this was almost like unrelenting in its grotesqueness.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way of putting it. I mean, there's literal like there are literally like creatures that are like made of like like all balls, like like there's like those characters that are like whipping the sort of like human like figures. There's lots of shit flying. There's lots of bodily fluids. It is a very grotesque film in that way. Like, I mean, it's not quite the same because typically like a Grand Guignol would be like macabre and bloody, but it's almost like a Grand Guignol sort of like horror horror show, but with just bodily fluids and whatnot.
But there was a story, and I would actually recommend our good friend E.F. Contentment did write a synopsis of this, and I didn't get all the religious iconography in it because I guess I'm a heathen. But there's a lot of religious iconography in this, with the main character who's I consider him a drifter, but I know I've read this as being an assassin.
Yeah, that's how he's billed on the credits. So, but one thing we haven't even mentioned is there's no dialogue in this really. Like, it's I wouldn't say it's a silent film. There's some gibberish being spoken, and you hear some voices, but for the most part, there's like no discernible words. And still, I think it's engaging. I mean, whether or not it works for you, that's a different story. But it's engaging, and it's almost difficult to take your eyes off the screen because there's so many cool things going on at any given time. I do want to talk a little bit about. Like, I think there's so many different things going on here, and I think the way it's made, I feel like you can sort of like cut and paste different situations into this. Like, the way I kind of saw it was almost like a capitalist society, at least at first, where like everything trickles down, the shit trickles down to the us, the humans, the normal fucking people. And and there's all those like they're all getting killed, like there's like things flying and getting crushed. And go ahead, Raven.
I'll be right back. I gotta deal with something on this end. I'll be right back.
Yep.
That was what you do.
I can't believe he's sorry, I'm not gonna say, but like Rachel told us what he wants, and it's kind of funny. But so it like I felt like it was almost like set it up like a capitalist society, and like just the way like how we as the people in sort of like this society are expendable, and there's like all the like they're getting all these like I don't know, like shit monsters. I don't know what shit people or whatever to call them, like keep getting crushed and like killed. And there's like a pretty much like the mortality rate is like next to none. So that, I mean, that's the first thing that kind of jumped out at me. But I'm not someone who's ever read the Bible. I know a lot of the stories, but I've never read the Bible. So a lot of the biblical iconography is probably gonna kind of go over my head. How about you, Aries? Was there anything that really sort of like stood out to you about the way this was presented at first in terms of like story or parallels to other things?
I can't say that anything jumped out at me. There was like lack of story. Like I did not pick up on anything. Like I know there was a lot of subtext and, as I'm learning now, biblical things that was lost on me on the surface. And like I need a little bit of a surface story, and this was lacking that.
Yeah, I mean there's no like through line, the narrative where you can follow everything very closely. It's sort of like this mad kind of descent into hell in a way. And I'm trying to think of like a good way to describe it, but like that's sort of how I saw it initially, was just sort of like this descent into hell, and he keeps going down and down, and he's trying to kill the mad god who created this world, But yeah, there's a lot of detours in there, especially when we start getting into like the surgeons and the nurses. Like that kind of threw me off a little bit in terms of where the narrative was going. I think I sort of caught hold of it, but it was, this is a film that is very, surreal is probably the best way to put it, because it doesn't have a cohesive narrative that you can follow along and makes complete perfect sense. I mean, maybe it does for some people, but it's one of those things that it's very abstract. I guess that's the word I'm looking for, is abstract.
I mean, I didn't know this was made over 30 years until you mentioned that, and it kind of helps me understand a little bit more. Like, if you're making something over 30 years, you're going to lose your direction a little bit or change your direction. Like, it's going to happen. Like, you may have a natural endpoint towards it, but as 5 years goes by, you change as a person and you go, I want to go here or there. And so the movie, because it's already made, you can't change that. So I think that kind of, I think as you watch this movie, you can see like things change. Like there was definitely like slight mood changes and tone, and it was weird. I'm sorry, it was weird. And like hearing that it was made over 30 years, it kind of explained that a little bit for me.
Yeah. And I wonder, how much the story changed over the years. That's why I'm curious about kind of behind the scenes stuff, because, maybe he had one thing in mind in 1988, but, in 2018 when he was wrapping it up, maybe there was different stuff that he was going for. I mean, that's a long time to have a narrative, and to really keep it intact and everything. So there is a possibility there that there's something, that maybe is a little bit lost in translation, because over time it just shifted and changed.
Well, what also springs to my head is that he probably didn't make this himself. He probably had help.
He did, yeah. He did have help.
All right, and so in over 30 years, he probably had multiple people. Like, so there was, A, B, and C working on the first 30 minutes, and X, Y, and Z working on the next.
No.
So
no, not like that. He had people helping
not like
him
that,
with cameras and stuff like that. But for the most part, like he kind of is the cast
the
and
whole
crew.
thing. Okay,
yeah, like, so let me just see here. So, cinematography by Chris Morley and Phil Tippett. So I did read Chris Morley helped him with the actual filming of it, with the camera stuff. It was edited by two different people, which is typically have different editors from directors. He did all the production design for the set decoration. He had 9 people, including Samantha Tippett, which I'm guessing is maybe his wife or, someone related to him. So 9 people that did set decoration. Once again, that may have been over the course of 30 years. I'm sure it wasn't 9 people all at once. He had 1 makeup artist. I assume that was for the stuff with the actual actors. And then he had, for the art department, I'm not going to count them all, but maybe 15 prop artists, who created for instance, like the little props that you see that they pick up, like the map that he pulls out of his jacket, and, and also like just the landscape and piecing together all the different parts. So those are all prop artists. There was a matte painter who did matte paintings for backgrounds. There was someone who did calligraphy. So I'm guessing kind of the beginning the opening. And then, you know, sound department, there was like 5 people in the sound department, which I thought the sound was phenomenal in this. And then special effects, there's like 8 people who did special effects. And then there were actually some visual effects artists. So I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not quite sure how they factored in, but there's a lot of like compositing artists, digital artists, VFX artists. So now that I'm seeing all the credits, what we saw in the film was not all in front of the camera. So there were some visual effects added after. There was some composite artists and some other digital artists that might have touched up some things digitally. So, but for the most part, I mean, everything you see, all the action, all the characters, all the backgrounds were mostly props and puppets. You know.
Well, there were a couple of explosions that happened towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Yeah, so that stuff would have been the VFX and stuff like that. So, I mean, all that said, yeah. So it's not one dude sitting in his house, you know, doing this. It did take a lot of people, and there was even a costume department for, I assume, making costumes for the puppets, and also for, you know, the actors. But I mean, that's pretty much it. Oh, it looks like this had a Kickstarter. I'm actually going to look up the campaign. I'm curious. Because I want to find out roughly what went into this.
Oh, I mean, that couldn't have been from the beginning.
No. Probably post-production. So, okay, I found it here. I'm trying to see when this started. Okay, so I'll go back and I'm trying to look for the first update. It's of course showing him in reverse. I'll look this up and see, you know, sort of like when it began. But it did make a pretty good amount of money. A lot of these Kickstarters, a lot of times they will do post-production and marketing, you know. So for instance, basically the film, it gets filmed, and then this is to get it out the door, you know, to finish it up, to wrap it up, and to market it and stuff like that. So I'm guessing it was something along those lines. Okay, here we go. The first May 22nd, 2012 is when the first post went up for this. And 3 days later, he says, "I really can't thank you enough for helping us reach and now almost double our goal in just 8 days." So in 8 days, he had already like doubled his initial goal. So yeah, so 2012, and I mean, you can see it took 10 years basically for it to get released from the point of the Kickstarter. So pretty crazy. But the project had 2,523 backers, and it made total $124,156. So it's pretty good. Looking at the campaign here, I just wanted to kind of see. Okay, so it says, I'm just going to read this real quick. This is from the Kickstarter. It says, Mad God is an experimental, handmade animated film set in a Milton-esque world of monsters, mad scientists, and war pigs. Directed by legendary visual effects and stop-motion craftsman Phil Tippett, the sets, creatures, effects, and spirit are in every way independent and created from the heart. Sometimes that heart is bursting with love for the craft, while other times it's punctured and bleeding all over the place, 24 frames per second. Mad God is a mature film made with technology that spans the history of cinema. So it goes on to talk a little bit about the movie. Phil Tippett was raised on the fantasy films of Ray Harryhausen and Willis O'Brien. films that fueled his and other youngsters' imaginations with creatures brought to life using stop-frame animation. As a young man, he was further influenced by European experimental filmmakers Karel Zeman, Jan Svankmajer, and Vladislav Starovich, who used similar techniques in surreal and experimental ways. With his work on the Star Wars movies, Tippett carved his own niche as a monster master of stop motion. In 1984, he created his own studio where he continued to explore and innovate using stop motion. Mad God began with several minutes of stop motion animation in 1990 before the explosion of CGI for movies. But as his studio blossomed into a powerhouse of computer-assisted visual effects and animation, the Mad God project fell on the back burner. Until last year, so this is in 2011, is when he's referring to, after sitting on the shelf for 20 years, artists at Tippett Studios implored Phil to revive Mad God. Incorporating footage shot before the surge of CGI with new puppets, scenes, environments, and in-camera effects, Phil is directing while mentoring an entire new generation in traditional stop-motion animation and creature fabrication. The crew is entirely made up of volunteers, including artists from Tippett Studios, students from local art schools, and industry veterans who remember the good old days when effects were made by people on sets photographing puppets one frame at a time. So it just says the money raised from Kickstarter will be used to finance an abundance of the hard costs associated with making the first chapter of this film, including materials for making molds, armatures, rear and front screen projections, lab services, hard drive storage, and studio rental space, among other costs. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. If you guys want to find it, you can look it up. But yeah, that gives actually a really sort of good base understanding of what this was. I initially thought he had been working on it like in a basement, like in between projects, but the fact that it was shelved for a little while and then brought back by, his people kind of imploring him to do so is interesting. But yeah, so at the very least, it was 10 years in the making. He started it 30 years ago, but kind of reintroduced it to the world 10 years ago. So. But man, it's an impressive fucking film. I don't know how I don't know that I'm gonna go back to this one. Maybe to show somebody, maybe because T-Dog didn't watch it. I might kind of want to watch it with someone else. Just to sort of like get their reaction, their opinion, and stuff like that. So it's something I could see doing, but it's not one I'm gonna be like, oh man, I really want to watch Mad God. It's a beautiful film and it's really well executed. But I don't think it's the kind of film that you just kind of put on when you're bored.
Well, right. I mean, I think it was mentioned in a different conversation last week, but are you really gonna throw on Requiem for a Dream if you get a long holiday weekend? I'm just gonna chill, bro. I'll put some Requiem for a Dream on. You know what I mean? There's certain films that you don't need to that aren't kind of like that. And I think that once again, this movie was beautiful in its darkness. Mm-hmm. It was great. And there are some folks, there's a fan base that's going to love every single moment of this. And I'm not saying that as a criticism, but it's kind of a tough act to follow on a regular basis, and who would you really show this to? I almost think it would have been better served in a smaller form, or a shorter form rather, or maybe episodic. If it was if this was a backup story in an issue of Heavy Metal, if this was part of a larger anthology, it might be more easily digestible. Like a television, the head, the Max kind of stuff, just because it's a lot going on here.
I'm not saying that's a terrible idea, but the only thing that comes to mind with that is I feel like there's not really many good stopping points. Like a lot of times in like an episodic show, you want to have like some high spots, so to speak, to end on like a, on like a big note and then kind of take it in a different direction or a cliffhanger or whatever. Not saying you always need that, but I feel like you don't necessarily get that here. Maybe maybe there's some good stopping points where you could do something like that. But I mean, I think it works. It's 83 minutes. I think it's one of those films that you could digest in one sitting, but
But
I don't know.
I wonder because of the avant-garde nature of it. Like, I mean, big ups to E.F. Contentment for getting, I'm not sure how we got to that point, but getting all the religious subtext in there, maybe. I know the Bible's a thing, and I've been in hotel rooms a lot, and it's there. I've not read it cover to cover, or any fucking Crisis on Infinite Earths. That's a fucking story. But like, if this was episodic, you would have something holy shit every week because it was kind of all the same holy shit, right? Like it was, I'm going back to it. It was all, there was no time to breathe in this. But it made me think that the stop motion art form should not be fully lost. Like I would love for this to be a catalyst for maybe a resurgence in that art form. Like, what if there was, we throwing it out there. There are certain comics they say that are unadaptable to film.
Yeah.
What if it was done stop motion? What if there was a really cool stop motion slasher movie? Or whatever, like, probably a Lifetime Christmas movie might not fit the grade, but what if we take some of our genre things and maybe employ the stop motion route, like your Nightmare Before Christmas? Like maybe that could be, I would love for this to kick off a new era of that.
Yeah, and I don't think that's going to happen necessarily because of the craft involved, but I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, there's different ways to animate in a quicker manner these days, especially with like take some of the technology they're using with the Disney Plus Star Wars series Stagecraft. Otherwise they've also referred to it as the Volume. Shit like that is really cutting edge technology because you can essentially build a world in 3 dimensions. You basically take they literally use a video game engine, like an editor, and they project it onto a stage with a background and a ceiling and everything, and they can tweak every little detail of it. They can, if they want to move the sun, from like 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., you just do that right in a computer, so there's a lot of really interesting, cool things that you can do with like a click of a mouse, basically, So, I mean, the craft of this is amazing, and it really stands the test of time. And I think that this is some of the best stop motion I've ever seen. So, but I think that the time and effort that goes into this is probably too long, and but I could see stuff in a 3D, because the thing about 3D is, especially if you're using like 3D digital art, I mean, you could model a character, and then you have to just make animations. Like you can share animations. You know what I mean? Like if someone is doing like an uppercut or something like that, you can just use that animation for all the different characters. You don't have to draw it separately, because, like if you're doing like animation, 2D animation, you have to draw, the sprite of it, doing its thing, and you have to do every character that way. But, and if you're doing stop motion, you need to make a different character and have them animate to do it that way by, painstakingly moving it. But with 3D digital art, there's a lot of time savings. So that's what I'm saying. Like maybe there's a way to do that take the idea behind this and kind of combine it with some sort of 3D art to kind of create this style of stop motion, but using it in a more modern way, So, yeah, I mean, but you're right. I mean, I think that there's a lot of different ways that you can create the unfilmable stories when you animate them, or whether it's 2D animation, 3D animation, stop motion animation, like whatever. Like it doesn't have to always be a human portraying the part and filming on location or on a set, you know?
Right. I mean, it seems like the 2D animation has gone the way of the Pixar generation in some degree. But once again, I don't have budget or the task force to do it. But it's nice to see that this old school animation can be done in a modern day, even if it takes a couple of years to get there.
Yeah.
But it's, once again, this is a gross movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's gross.
There's piss, shit. Well, actually, I don't know about piss, but there's shit. There's blood. There's like vomit. There's like all sorts of other fluids.
Yeah, and not really like the fun fluids. It's all like
right,
the bad ones. But there's still a fucking an art form to it, and I totally respect that.
Yeah,
and I think anyone has to at least respect the art form, because it makes you feel you. It wasn't fun. This is no Saturday morning cartoons. You ain't get no honeycomb watching this on Saturday morning. I'll tell you that much.
Nope. Marion posted in the chat and said, watching this movie was basically a hellish acid flashback for me. I hated it yet was totally riveted. I feel like my psyche was slightly damaged for watching it. And at the same time, I kind of want to watch it again. Yeah.
It was really fun last night. Yeah, it was really good.
That's an interesting way of putting it. I mean, I think it is sort of like a descent into madness in a way, you know? It's almost like a, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the exact phrase, but it's, in a way, like, I don't mean it like in that's tough to watch, but it's almost kind of like Alex DeLarge, like, with the eyeball, like you can't take your eye off of it even if you wanted to, because it's so impressive and
it's repulsive, but you gotta. It's not supposed to be though. It's not doing anything it's not claiming to be.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's not. It is what it is. And if myself or anybody else is into it, it's not the fault of the picture. I don't think, because it is what it is. It's how we react to it.
Yeah.
I think where the conversation and your impression is going to lie. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Aries, you seem really torn on this movie.
I mean, it is artistic wise, it is a great movie. The stop motion was great, but the story, I couldn't tell you what the story was. Like, it wasn't there for me. So I am kind of torn with this.
Yeah. There's and the funny thing is, I mean, we can talk about the craft as much as we want, but I feel like all the technical aspects of this, like, I thought the audio design was phenomenal. Like, I think that really sold a lot of the stuff. The music was great. I thought the score was really well executed and very fitting. And a lot of the imagery was so visceral and cool, And I think one of the other things I thought of and makes sense that this was actually more made in the last 10 years is for instance, like when it's near the beginning, when all the like, I don't know what to call them, like foot soldier type, people are watching a screen with like a baby talking to them. I couldn't help but think of like the last 4 years of like someone in power and talking like a baby and everybody like riveted by it and stopping to do, what they're doing to listen to a fucking baby talk, like, so I don't know if there's anything to that, but like, you know, that's the first thing that popped into my head was, you know, I wonder if there's there's something there to that. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I think capitalism is a big part of it, but you know, like I said, I'm not someone who's very well versed in the Bible. So aside from the Leviticus quote at the beginning, I might not have even really thought much about that, you know?
Well, as far as the baby talking and people watching, my mind went to the Teletubbies.
Oh my God.
Because there was a baby in the sun that would talk. I don't know. So I don't know if that was some underlining meaning with that, but my kid grew up in that era, so I watched the Teletubbies, and that's where my mind went.
Oh man, that's funny. Fucking Teletubbies.
Some dark Teletubbies, dude.
Yeah, no shit.
Dark. This is like, yeah, they go bad. And they're all doing.
This is Teletubbies when you drop acid. There you go.
Yeah. Oh shit. That's good.
Let me let's see. I'm gonna actually try to. Let me see if I can find EF's post. You were talking about that. I did see that because I think he is a little bit more well versed in the Bible than any of us.
He's fucking smart. Yeah, no, I know it's a book.
Okay, so let me. Yeah, okay. I'll just kind of. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll just kind of cherry pick some of the things he said. The film opens with humanity coming together as one to build the Tower of Babel. Only for God to Hakim Olajuwon that shit. Not in my house. And then we're treated to one of the more assholish chapters of the Bible, Leviticus 26. And then he says, we then flash forward to another time, another place. But come on, it's representing Earth circa now. And we follow the assassin as he dives deep into a dark, post-apocalyptic wasteland filled with creatures that range from creepy to off-putting to downright nightmarish. The least frightening of these inhabitants are the dumb humanoids that are created from fecal discharge. Yeah, that's why I called them shit monsters or something. Collected from the bowels of giants who are strapped to electric chairs that never stop shocking them. Oh, I missed that part of the process that involves shit being poured into a huge, partially decomposed cyborg skull. Carrying only a suitcase and a map, the assassin proceeds through this inferno, watching the shit people as they labor for their masters, marching blindly, killed due to cruelty, negligence, or just for the hell of it. All acceptable losses crushed by the literal wheels of progress. Let's see. He says, I'm going to skip a little. It says, it's a very original, impressive despair, though. Perfect for the midnight movie circuit, where it should be played preferably to pot-addled crowds from 18 to 81 who can then gather outside following the film to share thoughts such as, it's like society's the monster, man. And, dude, I'm so fucking stoned right now. Like I was saying, it's like, hey, we should go to Denny's. That's something you would say, Raven Shadow.
I love everything about that except watching this movie.
You didn't like watching the movie?
No, I would. If that was the case, I'd rather just like smoke the pot and then go to Denny's. And that'd be good because like, this is not a movie to be on drugs for. Like this doesn't like watching Wizards back in the day. There you go.
Yeah. Well, see, I disagree. I think this movie would be enhanced by an altered state of mind.
I don't know.
The altered state of Drugachusetts.
I feel if I was really fucked up, I'd be like fucking Johnny Depp coming in the casino, just like walking over wearing like the lizard tail. Like I would hate all of it. I would just hate. I would abandon my car someplace. I wouldn't. This is not fun. Let's put on Police Academy 2. Beverly Hills Cop 2. Ghostbusters 2. Whatever comes first. I don't care.
Whatever sequel comes first.
Wayne's World 2. Not so good, but still all right.
Marion also added, there is art, music, film, etc. that made me have a negative or jolted reaction that I kept musing about and eventually started appreciating. This movie may fall into this category in time.
She's so fucking smart, dude.
Well, that's where you need to compliment your your other end of the spectrum. No, I'm just kidding, man. You're pretty smart sometimes. Sometimes don't let go to your head. All right.
Don't just be 10 years this podcast. But yeah.
All right. So I think we should probably wrap up. I don't think there's much more that we can say about this that hasn't already been said, or you probably either have an impression of whether you want to watch it after this or not. But we'll obviously in the synopsis and the verdict will, you can find out our true thoughts. But yeah, why don't we go ahead and do that? Let's go to the verdict on this one and let everyone know what we thought.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, it is verdict time. We're going to let you know whether Mad God was a trick or a treat and any final thoughts we may have. Let's start with the conflicted Aries.
Yeah, let's hope I made up my mind by this point. Like I said, this movie, there's the stop motion animation in this is great, but there is very little story. And for me, like, that's you need a story. Like, I'll go into a museum and stare at a painting, but I'm not going to stare at a painting for 80 minutes. Like, I need something more than just the visual aspect of whatever. And because this movie lacks that for me, whatever visual aspect that is great about this movie, the fact that it is supposed to be more than just a visual, this movie, I think, is going to have to be defined as a trick for me.
All right, Michael Rimshadow.
It's funny. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go until I finish talking. But
that's the story of your life.
Yeah. But to jump on a little bit of what Aries was saying, like, I will put the late great George Perez and the late great Tim Sale over fucking, the Mona Lisa any day of the fucking week. Any one of their panels, the splash pages. Where it comes to this movie, this is a remarkable. You've heard us talk about it. A remarkable technical achievement of their craft. Is it compelling? Do I want to watch it again? Compelling, yes. Watch it again, probably no. I can almost picture being like in a rock club that we've been to back in like Ralph's, and having like heavy metal music in the background, and this being like snippets, in like a film montage. But I do think what it lacks in maybe a narrative that I can understand, at least. Once again, EF is definitely more intelligent than I am. I would have to give it a tepid treat based on its technical achievements. And there are cats who are going to dig this all day long. But I big ups to what you did technically. I'm just good with seeing it again. But hey, make something else. See you in 30 years.
Jesus Christ. All right. So for me, as I said, I may have stated, I may not watch this movie again, but it is a fucking masterpiece. Like, I'm not going to say it's a treat of the highest order, because this is very much a film that's going to be a bit, I don't know about divisive, but some people are just not going to really, it's not going to resonate with them. They're not going to be engaged in it. But from an artistic perspective, like, even if I hated this movie, like, I would be hard pressed to give this anything but a treat, because of the fact that it's just so beautiful, and the craft that went into it. Like, I'm a sucker for that. Like, it's kind of romantic, the work that goes into something like this. So it's hard for me to say otherwise, but I will say, I mean, I did generally enjoy the movie. I didn't quite follow the narrative all the way through. I mean, there was some parts where it kind of like jumped around a little bit, and I don't mean necessarily in a non-linear fashion, but you know, a subsequent watch would probably help, you know. But I'm not sure if I'll ever do that. So it is a really gorgeous movie. If you have even an outside interest in stop motion, if you've appreciated Phil Tippett's work in the past, I'd say definitely give it a view. It is on Shudder, and it's essentially free, whatever you pay for Shudder, you know. But yeah, it's a real. It's an achievement in filmmaking. I will say that. It is absolutely an achievement in filmmaking. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I think it deserves to be seen. So there you go. Treat for me. And that is going to wrap up our discussion of Mad God. Corny actually said, I watched this twice just to keep up with what was happening. Yeah, that's... And I think it's one that you have to pay attention to, right? Like, I know we've talked about that. Like, especially the lack of dialogue, I could see maybe sort of like drifting a little bit and like looking at your phone or, you know, whatever. But I would say that this is one that you need to be engaged with throughout, or I could see it not working so well, I guess. But all right, well, that is going to do it. Like I said, it's available on Shudder if you guys want to check it out. So there you go. All right, next week, I'm excited about next week because a movie came out that I didn't know was coming out so soon. It just released in theaters a few weeks back, and you know, I figured we'd have at least another month or so before it came out. But nope, we are going to get it next week. And the name of that film is Crimes of the Future from the maestro, David Cronenberg. So we will check out Crimes of the Future. And we are also going to be joined by the one and only Arkham, Josh. And I'm glad that Josh is going to be aboard for a Cronenberg because we may need his cinematic expertise. I don't know how much experience. Like, I guess, what would you guys sort of say is your interest or experience with David Cronenberg's work?
I know he's made a couple movies.
All right, well, real quick, Rave Joe, let me call it the big ones. So the
Lunch.
Yep. Well, The Fly is probably his biggest film. So I know you've seen that, Aries. He did The Fly. He did Dead Ringers. He did Nightbreed. Let's see. What are some of the others that you would have seen? Crash, potentially. Extreme Measures. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at acting because he also acts. Let me pull up his directing because that's a truer sense. Actually, the funny thing is I actually didn't know this, but he has a movie from 1970 called Crimes of the Future. Huh. From 1970, an hour, 3 minutes. All right. I wonder if he took some of the ideas and made it 50 some odd years later. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's going to be interesting to. I wonder if Josh has seen that. Hopefully, one of us at least gets a chance to see that. But anyways, his most known for The Fly, but he's also directed Rabid, The Brood, Scanners, Videodrome, The Dead Zone. He did one episode of Friday the 13th, the series, Dead Ringers, as I mentioned, Naked Lunch, Crash, Existence, History of Violence, Eastern Promises, Cosmopolis, Maps to the Stars, and then this one, Crimes of the Future. But yeah, it's it'll be an interesting one for sure. It is brand new release. It got a release theatrically in June, and it just popped up on the expensive VOD, the premium VOD, if you will. So if you guys want to check it out, if you don't find it in theaters, it's one of those $20 deals. But I really wanted to get out ahead of this and check out the new Cronenberg. And as far as the cast goes, it features Viggo Mortensen, Leah Seydoux, Scott Speedman, haven't heard that name in a while, Kristen Stewart, speaking of fucking Twilight, yeah. Let's see if there's anyone else that we might recognize. No, those are the big names.
Throwing out there, though, Kristen Stewart, love her or hate her, she was in fucking Finch's fucking Panic Room, by the way. So she's got a pretty good pedigree of directors. All fucking vampires aside.
How come you don't call her Twilight?
She's Panic Room.
Twilight was significantly bigger than Panic Room.
I'm just telling you.
Do you have to define actors by one specific movie?
No, but Johnny put me in a corner. I felt I had to come out swinging.
You don't have to come out swinging.
I felt I did. I felt you were attacking me, and I felt
I wasn't attacking you at all.
I felt you were.
How?
He was questioning why only one actor can be called Twilight when there was multiple actors in the movie.
Because he's Captain Twilight. And then I think she's Panic Room. Or she's Joan Jett in that movie. She
also played fucking Princess Diana recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
You going to call her that? Is the movie Spencer. I think she was actually nominated for an Oscar for her portrayal.
Spencer for Hire?
No. Spencer.
The remake with Marky Wahlberg?
No.
Oh. I don't know. I'm
gonna keep going. You gonna keep going?
Robert Urich was the best Spencer. They also had Deep Space Nine, the captain, as TV's second Hawk. That was a good program. Remember him?
No.
The first Hawk was in Buck Rogers. He was dope too. Listen, this is a fucking dark fucking movie. I'm trying to lighten the fucking load, right? You know what I mean? Let's have some fun. This is fucking. We had a lot of like giant.
I'm trying to have fun, but you're fucking killing me.
Trying.
I'm going to go back real quick. And Marion said, I would rate this movie as or, since I cannot label it as either trick or treat. I do say trick or treat, right? So I guess you could do or.
Yep.
FTM popped in. He says, just checking in with my friends. I hope all is well with you and happy birthday, Corny. He called out Videodrome, of course, Videodrome classic. Marion says, I made Raven Shadow watch Existence recently. He fell asleep, though. Wow.
Did we watch that?
Well, apparently you didn't.
You didn't even make it through the opening credits, apparently.
I think I liked it. But listen, you don't understand. Some things happen.
What?
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 What? What?
Oh my God. So, Evil Corny says, thanks, FTM. Crimes of the Future is something else. Well, it's something else. We'll find out next week if it's something else. And let's see if there's anything else in the chat room. Corny says, I saw Crimes of the Future in the theater a couple weeks ago. I'm interested in what Raven Shadow thinks about this. And then Corny says, quit Raven Shadow, you're embarrassing Aries.
Yes. Yes, he is. Always.
And FTM says, A Man Called Hawk is streaming on Tubi.
It's my dude. FTM fucking understands me.
So, at least someone does.
First time mic drop. Come over, bro.
First time mic drop by, right? Is that what you mean?
First time mic drop by, bro. That's your new name. Oh,
That's his new nickname today.
First time mic drop by, dude. Come on. I will use my earn time, bro.
What? You know, you got to pick an article to like call people like dude, bro, man, cat, dog, fiend. Like, what is it?
I diversify.
Yeah, but it's throwing everyone off.
No, you gotta keep up. You gotta keep up.
And a lot of those people find offensive.
Yeah, dog.
Oh, the cats. There's a lot of fucking calico cats listening right now.
Cats and kittens.
No, I don't like to be called most of those names personally.
I don't either, honestly. Like,
you're a cute little fuzzy bunny. How's that? Is that bad?
Cut it out.
All right. Can I give you a hug and a kiss? What do you want to be called? What do you want? What name yourself?
Name yourself.
Name myself.
Name
I have
yourself.
a name. I'm not asking to be called a nickname, essentially.
All right.
Most people don't like to be assigned a nickname.
Aries
I'll tell
doesn't.
you-
Don't use his Christian name though.
Yeah, I know a name. I know a couple of names I could use.
Oh yeah, that one's going back, and I don't care about that anymore.
So I guess fine. Is the ones I'm using better, or do you want to use the one that was Yeah.
I just said I don't care about that anymore.
No, he's
the 5-letter word.
He's lying, Wolfie. Fine. This is unfun. You guys are the unfun V. You suck.
The unfun what?
Unfun V.
Unfun
So
V?
we're supposed to suffer because you're having fun?
No, you just gotta lighten up. Just
I don't have to lighten up.
Take out the
I
button.
am no. Well, here's the thing, because you're saying all those words meaning everyone that's listening. Perhaps everyone listening doesn't want to be called those names.
Then message me. Then
message me.
I am speaking for them.
You're speaking
Don't
for no.
assign nicknames to people.
You're speaking for nobody. Fine. No, don't assign names. Oh wait, well that would fucking fuck up a lot of fucking things we've done so far in the last fucking 10 years. If I didn't assign fucking names for people.
Well, individually, it's one thing.
Yes, I have.
Calling all our listeners chief is offensive.
I've never said chief. I've never said chief or guy. But you know what? Now moving forward, you are now chief and guy because I never say those words and I never douchebags say it. But you know
Okay.
what? Moving forward, who's the big winner, chief? Who's the big winner, Apache? No, that's not one.
Hey, you call me that again?
I'm
exiting the call.
No.
chief.
Aries. I don't like this. I don't like this new method. Instead of leaving the call, you should go to his house and kick his fucking ass.
I should, but I'm trying to just find my zen because he seems to want to poke me, and I don't like being poked.
Don't poke the bear, Raven Shadow.
Folks, I'm easy to find. Anyone looking for me, you know where I am. My schedule is very, very clear. So if anyone is looking for me, you know where to find me. And that includes
we don't. Where?
Okay. But no, I've never said chief or guy. I assure you of that.
Yeah, but you know what? But that is in the same vein of what you're doing.
Moving forward, you are now chief tough guy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
See behind
Goodbye,
you.
listeners.
No, Raven Shadow. What are you doing, man?
Oh. Bum, bum, ba, dum.
Now he's gonna miss the voice messages.
It's true. But let's put it one step further too. For all the shit that I get for leaving behind stage, who left last week without fucking saying they were leaving?
I don't know.
His name was Aries.
His name was Copa. Copa
His name was
Cabana.
Copa. Right. So if I went and go lay down on my fucking concrete floor, I would never hear the end of it.
Oh, no. Now come on.
No, I am. Come on.
He had a fucking back injury. If you had a back injury, I think people would give you some leeway.
Then fucking whatever the fuck. Whatever. Fine. Make it all about him. Focus thief. Not his fucking
What are you
person.
talking about?
He's left. Aries left. Fine.
I know.
Chief Rocco. That's old
Oh,
school.
man.
Whatever, man.
Whatever. You're whatevering man me?
Not you.
Well, I'm the only one here.
Whatever, man. I don't. Whatever.
Whatever, Chief.
Chief Rocco. Never ever said that. Never ever said that. Never said it. Never said guy. Never said chief. So self-fulfilling prophecy.
First time Mike says that's a couple 1,000-mile drive from you, Raven Shadow, for him to do a first time Mike drive-by.
You're the only one I want to hang out with the first time, Mike.
You said, to tell the truth, Raven Shadow did come up with first time Mike.
Once again, my innovations are off the fucking charts. You'll all hear about it on 10-year anniversary.
Your innovations are off the charts?
Yeah, I made the list already.
Bombaleo. The innovation that keeps on giving.
Oh, stay tuned. I've already made a list. I literally am on 2 pages already.
For innovations?
Yep.
Give me one other.
1 page. It's a paragraph.
It's
maybe a paragraph.
It's a sentence.
But it's
a
4
death
sentences.
sentence.
It's 5 sentences. 6.
Funny thing is, Aries looks so happy in that frozen photo of him.
I got a frozen photo over here. It'll be the same exact thing.
Oh man. Oh Jesus. I'm fucking exhausted. We got a few more. We got some voice messages though. Let's see here. What do we got? All right. Let me move these over here. I think that's all of them. I think we got 3. Yeah. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3. Yep. 3 of them. So let's first. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the birthday boy. How about that? Let's see what the birthday boy has to say. Evil Corny.
Hey guys, I'm gonna give Matt God a treat. I had to rewatch this film a couple times, just because I wasn't really following the story at all because I was looking at the visuals and everything. The stop motion in this film is flawless. I loved every bit of it, and I really think this is a work of art. But like I said, I had to watch it a couple times to kind of follow everything. You all have a good one. Evil Corny out.
All right. Evil Corny, thanks, man. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate hearing from you. And once again, happy birthday, my friend. All right. Now, let's check in with next week's guest. Arkham Josh will be joining us next week, and he's calling in to probably give his thoughts on some films. So let's see what Josh has to say.
Hey, Trick or Treat Radio guys, it's Arkham Josh here. Just calling in with my thoughts on this week's film, Mad God. This one's a little bit of a tough one. So, it's undeniable that this is a technological achievement and that this is an amazingly crafted film that it shows off a number of fantastic techniques of stop motion and camera work and just kind of models and miniatures and stuff like that. But the problem with me was that story-wise, it just didn't hook me right. And I believe that it's because of a combination of 2 things. One, this is the type of film that I feel has a lot of metaphor and symbolism in it, which is the kind of film that you kind of got to pay really good attention to and kind of grasp everything. And second, this is a film with no actual dialogue, which again means that it is the type of thing that you have to pay like incredible attention to get all the minute details and follow any story. And I just feel that in the case of this film, it just kind of led to a watcher's fatigue for me. And I just kind of fell out of it about 2/3 of the way through. I don't know. I understand that parts of this have been released over the years as shorts. There was 3 shorts that had been released over the years that were then incorporated into this as the feature. And I kind of wish I was just watching the shorts all separately, because I feel like that might have worked better for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody disagrees with me. But I'm going to say that this is a tepid treat. And because I'm giving it a treat in that I cannot deny how well made a film it is and how wonderful it looks. But it just didn't fully work for me and it didn't grasp for me. So I can't go all in. So it's a tepid treat. And it's also kind of a tepid recommend where if you like stop motion kind of stuff, definitely check it out because it's fantastic for that. But otherwise, you might want to skip it. All right, I'm really interested to hear what you guys are thinking. Also, wanted to say, last weekend I had the opportunity to go to New York to the Film Society at Lincoln Center, where they're doing a 2-week retrospective of all of the work of Dario Argento. And I went on Sunday. I spent the day watching movies, and I got to see the North American premiere of his newest film, Dark Glasses.
Oh, nice.
I know this film isn't widely available yet, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. But I am going to say that the film was a lot of fun, and it was not a disappointment. So therefore, way better than Dracula 3D. I'm going to say that if you like some of his later output, like if you like things like Trauma and Sleepless, or even like Do You Like Hitchcock, I thought was pretty good. If you like those, then you're going to like this. And if you don't like those, then you might not like this. I don't know. But I'm not going to go into too much detail because I figured this is actually the kind of thing that you guys might cover. I think it's going to pop up on Shudder eventually. So, all right. I hope you guys are all having a good one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Sooner than you think. All right, Josh, thanks for checking in, buddy. And yeah, I'm curious to check out Dark Glasses. I'm not a big fan of Dario's output over the last almost 30 years now. But I always get a little hopeful that the next one will be the one that brings it back. But yeah, I appreciate you checking in about that, and glad you got a chance to see it. Yeah, Dracula 3D, man. Whew. All right, so, but Josh will be joining us next week, so you guys can look forward to hearing his thoughts on more movies, including the latest film from David Cronenberg with Crimes of the Future. So, all right. Well, we got one more. And someone we hadn't heard from in a while, as of last week. But he called it again for a second week in a row. It is Michael Ravenshadow's Bomba Radio partner, Cotton Cody Vance. Wait,
Nathan Cotton.
Nathan,
Cody
I forgot the
Vance,
Nathan.
dude.
Yeah, thank you. Nathan Cotton Candy Voice, blah, blue, blue, blah. Cody, let's hear from him.
Hey, guys. This is Cody. Been playing catch up, and now I am caught up, and I figured I'd weigh in on a couple of the movies. The Sadness, I enjoyed more than I didn't, but I've got to say something that if something is like very nakedly trying to push buttons as hard as it does, I can't say it's generally particularly effective. And in this case, it definitely isn't. Like tonally, it's not too far removed from something like a Trauma movie. And like a Trauma movie is like not going to be like, I don't know, at least for me, like authentically upsetting. Like it's obviously like can't fault anybody for not enjoying it or not being able to sit through it or anything. This is like, fundamentally repulsive material. But there is something, I don't know, just sort of splashy and attention grabby about it that makes it feel a little hollow. And honestly, at 99 minutes, makes it feel long as fuck, too. Like, I don't know. This was not an exercise that needed to be any longer than maybe 80 something minutes. It felt like someone like you went to like it's like a very Reddit horror movie. It's like you went to some sort of Reddit community and said like name some fucked up things that could happen in a horror movie or that you haven't seen in a horror movie, and then they built a movie around like 3 or 4 or 5 of those suggestions. Not a bad time, but not exactly sensational either. Really glad you guys enjoyed Take Shelter. I have loved Take Shelter since about the time it came out. Jeff Nichols is great. Not completely enthused that he is getting Jim from The Office's sloppy seconds or whatever, but whatever, it's a gig's a gig. I will say that I heard him say on a podcast years ago, he intimated somewhat explicitly that Michael Shannon advised him to stay away from the Warner Brothers superhero movies. He, I think, was attached to Aquaman for a while before backing out, seemingly at the behest of Michael Shannon. So I always thought that was kind of interesting. And Mad God is super good. I saw someone say on Twitter say that it's sort of a long, detailed preview of what healthcare executives have waiting for them in the afterlife. And we can at least hope that's true. Real neat little movie. I mean, I don't even know what else to say about it. Real oppressive kind of vibe. Kind of felt like a 90s point and click computer game. But I say that in like a, very complimentary fashion. Just good all around stuff. And, just real quickly, I'm not going to make a habit of sending you pictures, but I was looking at some of, oh Lord, I can't think of what the fucking production company name is now, but the Brian Pollins group that made Blood Pigs and Fetus and all that kind of stuff. I was looking at a few of their trailers on YouTube, and a related video. Someone has apparently uploaded Blood Pigs to YouTube, and I'm going to send you along the thumbnail that is attached. I thought you all might think it was amusing. Any case, talk to y'all later. Bye.
All right, Cody. Good to hear from you, buddy. He did send an email. I forget to get the picture ready, but I'll get that queued up in just a moment here. Raven Chat, any thoughts from your boy Cody?
I love Cody so much.
How much? Quantify it.
This much.
Well, what if somebody's listening to the podcast?
That's why you gotta watch the live feed, dude. I love Cody 3000. What's that? It's a Iron Man reference. Very popular picture. Endgame. Pretty much everyone saw it.
I never heard of it.
Stevie Wonder saw it. Said it was good.
Oh man! All right, I'm still waiting for this picture thing to get loaded up. But Cody, good to hear from you, buddy.
Thank you, Cody.
Hope everything's well. Glad to hear. Let's see. He talked about the sadness.
Yeah.
He talked about Take Shelter, and then
one thing is
go ahead.
You mentioned Michael Shannon, and when Michael Shannon was cast as General Zod, I'm like, that's fucking great. Because how do you can't beat Terrence Stamp as an actor playing that role, and being a fan of Superman comics for at least 35 years, Zod always sucked in the comics, but Terrence Stamp was the best portrayal. Michael Shannon, he's going to be great. I remember reading somewhere where he's like, listen, just don't put me in CGI shit. Give me some practical stuff. And they put him in all CGI shit. And it seemed like it wasn't what he signed up for, unfortunately. And right, wrong, or indifferent, but I just think that he really could have been great. I wish he could have said Neil at least once. But I love Michael Shannon.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's doing a lot of sort of indie stuff, and I saw he was in a movie. I don't know if it's on our list of things to do, but I was kind of curious because I was like, oh, Michael Shannon's in it. All right, cool. And then I saw his wife was in it. So it feels like he's just doing a lot of just kind of smaller indie pictures that his wife's doing, and just kind of like piggybacking on because I mean, of course, like any indie film is gonna love having Michael Shannon involved, right? I mean, like if you can get Michael Shannon, fuck, that's awesome, right?
Well, probably what more does he have to really do? He was in Boardwalk Empire. He was in 8 Mile. He was in Get Some Snyder Money. Like he was in like. Does he really need to do a lot of shit? Probably just does what he wants to do.
Yeah, he doesn't need to. But I mean, I imagine there's a part of, wanting to have compelling roles and to be challenged and to do things that you enjoy. So, yeah, I'm not sure. But maybe he's just kind of waiting things out and. Maybe waiting for things to get more back to normal with the pandemic, and I don't know. Yeah.
And that wasn't a dig, but maybe be selective. Like, how much does he really need? Right? I'm saying need, but like just do what you passion projects. I'm sure he's probably in a position where I'm not his accountant, but I'm sure he could probably just do passion projects and do what he wants. Yeah, I like Michael Shannon. I don't want to be his accountant.
All right, I got the picture queued up. Here's the picture that Cody sent. It is the thumbnail for Blood Pigs. I guess somebody uploaded it to YouTube, which they probably shouldn't have. So Brian Paul, if you're listening to this, looks like Blood Pigs is up on YouTube. But the picture that is the thumbnail for it is pretty funny. So let me go ahead and push this live. So if you're watching the live feed, once again,
wow,
should be watching the live feed. There you go.
That tells a story. It tells multiple stories.
Well, tell us what stories that say to you.
I don't. It's you know what? Here's your exam, Mr. Zero. Welcome to 50.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about another kind of exam. Here's your math test.
Yeah. What?
So he's getting a colonoscopy, basically. Is what he's saying.
Yeah. Because you're 50 something, you get a little.
Well, he is 50 something, so.
Yeah. So it's not his first.
Maybe that was it's not his first rodeo. Maybe that's actual footage of him at the doctor's.
It is like that. He goes to. That's the thing. People don't know this dude, but Monster Zero goes to a witch doctor, out in the woods, as you can see that. I'm not sure how witch doctors check for colonoscopies, but they have a lot of like enchantments.
Probably.
I'm not sure. That's not a covered benefit if you go to a witch doctor. They're not. They're out of network, as they say.
What benefits do witch doctors cover? That's a good Google search.
Can we find that? Can you Google Maine witch doctors?
Let me just search. I'm going to search what benefits witch doctors cover, because it's a legit question that somebody might want to know the answer to.
Right? Do they still have them? I mean, they probably have small practices. Probably specialists, right?
It doesn't say.
Google doesn't.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't accept insurance.
Should specialize. With their shrunken heads. He is literally suffering.
Yeah, he is.
Whatever is suffering, he is suffering.
So I don't know how legit this is, and I'm not going to read an article, but there's a blog post I found. I had to dig for it a little bit, but it says your insurance will cover a witch doctor, but not witchcraft.
It's fucked up.
So there you go. You can look into it a little bit more. You just give Papa Shango a call. Maybe he accepts Blue Cross Blue Shield. Care First.
Yeah. I'm gonna change. Yeah.
All
Papa
right.
John's covered. All right, we can stop.
Enough of Monza Zero getting a colonoscopy.
Or I feel he stepped on a Lego. He might have stepped.
That is true. That is very true. He could have just stepped on a Lego. All right, Cody. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's right after he stabbed the house, and the house stabbed him back, probably in the ass.
Show you.
All right. So I think it's it for voice messages. Let me just do another check because I just got a new email. Oh, it's just a bank statement. I don't think we need to play that on the air.
No.
It might be sad. Too sad. All right. That's that's it for voice messages. Now, Raven Chow, are you going to send Aries a text?
No, I'm upset. I'm upset at Aries.
Why are you upset? Let's talk this through.
No, I am. No, I don't know. There's.
Good
Listen.
job.
Thank you. I think he was being aggressive for no.
You're buds. You're friends. You know each other for fucking
exactly
35 years or something ridiculous.
It's for himself, and I think he was rude and upset. And I want to make a sandwich.
You know what though? Like on the show, we have fun with each other.
We do.
Yeah.
But he left.
He did. That's on him.
I would give him a hug and a kiss right now.
On the mouth?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe he'd be okay with that.
He would, at least on the cheek. At least on the. He wouldn't let me do on the mouth, but I think I could get him to do maybe on the shoulder. I could probably convince him to give him a kiss on the shoulder.
You could probably do it without him knowing. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell him. I'd just surprise him. Like, hey, what's that?
All right. Well, hopefully Aries is back next week.
I don't know. Shadow in the evening.
Yeah, it might be. And Josh.
All
right. So that is going to do it. The end of the show. Next week, as I mentioned, excited, we're going to get to hang out with Josh, Arkham Josh, and we'll be talking about Crimes of the Future, the latest film from David Cronenberg. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the 10-year anniversary coming up at the end of July, the last Thursday in July. Let me just get the date here. It is July 28th is the 10-year anniversary, so you have just over a month. If you guys have thoughts about guests, about ideas for the show, maybe a crazy fucking movie for us to discuss, anything like that, you can send it to us. But just do it in the next week or so because we have to start finalizing all the details. Sometimes these milestone shows take a little longer to get all squared away. So, if you guys have thoughts, feel free to send them our way. But that's going to do it, Raven Shadow. We are done. Why don't you say goodbye to the folks?
Thank you, folks. Happy birthday, Corny, once again. And live fast, love hard, survive with your mask on.
All right, everyone. That is going to do it for episode 517 of Trick or Treat Radio. We appreciate you guys tuning in. So for everyone who sent in a voice message, we appreciate the time you guys took. For everyone who tuned in live, we appreciate you guys. And everyone who's going to listen to the podcast when it drops, we also appreciate all of you. But our appreciation is mostly geared towards our Patreons because they keep us going, they keep us afloat, and we appreciate them so much. We love them. We love them so much, Raven Shadow. But that's going to do it. We'll see you guys next week for 518.